Hello, everyone, and welcome to Revolution Esports. We here at Revolution are excited to bring you another awesome season of Overwatch. This will be our third season, but really our sixth. I'm Maddie here today with Worst Overwatch Player, our color commentator, and finally our beautiful and just wonderful producer, Rins. So far, we've had a pretty tight-knit season, but we're going to be finishing it off with Week 7. We got NoWeaver versus 6ixGuns today.
Yeah, it should be an interesting match. Both teams here in the GM division looking to pick up a W here. Just trying to just trying to one up the opponent in this very competitive division. These are the upper echelon of teams in Revolution, and with the hero bans today, we do in fact have the OD bans for the week. Sigma, Roadhog, Doomfist, and Brigitte should really spice up the meta, especially in this coordinated play. The lack of the Brigitte really does allow more of those tracers. On twofold, it one allows tracers to get played as there's no Brigitte to be countered, but it also doesn't have that armor pack for the tracer, allowing her to really just go wherever she wants. So more dive, you could see more dive, or you may see less dive. It's really depending on the teams here. 6ixGuns always known for playing their own wacky style. I know that for certain. 6ixGuns was known even during the Goats era to just run whatever they wanted, mostly dive. But we'll see if they pull that off today.
Yeah, and it makes for a really exciting gameplay to see just different heroes than what you might normally see based off of meta. But for this meta, really, and especially with some of the bans coming in, you're seeing a lot of different stuff across divisions, across matches. So 6ixGuns, they could definitely pull something out of their back pocket for sure. But it'll be interesting to see how NoWeaver deals with that going into what it's going to look like to be Lijiang Tower today.
Yeah, Lijiang, a very diverse map. It has a couple sets of things you can run. On the control center, the more closed off map, you do tend to see the Ryan, Diva, Ryan, Zarya compositions, but you can also see an Orisa Sigma or an Orisa Reinhardt. Orisa Reinhardt always very strong. And then you move on to the maps like Night Market, where you typically see a Symmetra come out, where you can see a Pharah Mercy in order to counter that Symmetra.
Yeah,
There's a
and
lot of diverse strategy.
I'd be shocked to see the Orisa actually come out here because, like you said, Orisa Sigma is very common, and Sigma not being in the hero pool means that really you only have the Orisa Ryan option. So if we're probably going to see that at all, it'll most likely be on that inside control center point here on Lijiang. But I will be interested to see how much either team decides to use Pharah here, as Lijiang, very good Pharah map, and Pharah is always a fun hero to see, and yeah, with these King of the Hill points, you just try and get as much damage in as possible before the point unlocks, and you're not necessarily playing for positioning, you're more or less playing for that barrage. You can get it and drop that one, take a clean fight.
The Pharah is a very unique pick on a lot of maps. Very strong on Lijiang, as you said earlier, where there's a lot of space for the Pharah to go around, where Hitscan typically can have a hard time dealing with them, especially on Garden with that big tower in the middle that gives the Pharah protection from Hitscan line of sights.
Hello, everyone,
Pharah
and
being
welcome
able
to
to just
Revolution
rain down
Esports.
damage
We
on
here at
backline
Revolution
or
are
on tanks,
excited to bring
choosing
you
which one.
another awesome.
Mostly on the backline. If you pressure out the backline just has to find cover, and the tanks are left out to dry. A very strong strategy, and you can kind of just crumple the tanks in the end.
Yeah, and a good Pharah against a team that may not have a very good hit scan on their roster could absolutely tear them up, force them to swap to heroes they may not be as comfortable on. But when you're playing in such a high division, you're most likely going to have a good hit scan player on either side. So that shouldn't be a problem for either of our teams today, but it'll still be very good gameplay if we do see the Pharah come out. So definitely something to keep your eye on.
Yeah, either you see the strong hit scan come out if it's a strong hit scan player, or even get a counter Pharah of your own. Pharahs dueling each other can do a lot of good for your team as it preoccupies the Pharah. The Pharah won't be shooting your team; it'll be shooting at the other Pharah. And Pharah duels are variable. There's a lot of good like dueling Pharahs, and there's a lot of good like Pharahs that are good when there is no counter Pharah. So it really just is a style of maybe if someone is not comfortable dueling a Pharah, they might just swap off a Pharah if they're pressured out.
One thing we do know about these Pharah duels is it makes for some interesting Overwatch. So we'll see if that comes out here today. But it looks like teams are getting set to get going here on Lijiang after what was a bit of a brief, I guess, period of time. Yeah, before the game got going. Delay was the word I was looking for. Either way, here we go. We'll be starting it off on Garden, I believe.
Should be Garden.
Night Market.
Night Market. This is the map I was talking about where you see that Symmetra. A lot of teams do opt into the Symmetra, the TP allowing you to go to the window early and take point control, or it allows you a quick rotation around the right side, or like to point faster. It basically means you don't need a Lucia. You don't need a Lucia to get the point faster, and you can also just take point advantage with that Symmetra, where Symmetra loves when you're pushing into her. So we typically see Symmetras on this point.
to get that teleporter set up, get yourself on point, and lock it down. That might be the goal for one of these two teams here. But for now, we'll be seeing what looks like a Pharah coming out over on the side of, actually not quite sure, 6ixGuns. So, Death playing the Pharah.
The Fair Mercy with the Symmetra here is a little weird. They do run the Rhino-Orisa, which does give them more frontline, more like ability to survive or stay tanky. But removing another healer from that frontline makes the frontline a lot more susceptible to just getting run over. Whereas typically you would see something like a Brave with Biggest Band, or you would see something like an Ana coming out. So we should be seeing here a Fair. Yeah, Baptiste, that is going to help the frontline survive a lot more.
Symmetra from either side, like you said, and some Pharah spam coming in early from Death to try and break that one up before they can get set up on point, but the Maywall to respond and block any potential teleporters coming out from the side of 6ixGuns. And for now, it'll be NoWeaver setting up on point, taking that positioning that you want to be taking with the Symmetric teleporter, and just a bit of poke coming through.
Yeah, 6ixGuns looking for that other angle with the Fair, trying to get some damage onto the backline, as this fight will die to divulge here.
And a bit of poke coming through, but it looks like some full commitment coming through, and Savvy, he'll be finding the first pick of this round on a Riri, but in the meantime, the other Ryan getting busy here as all, he's going to pick up a nice kill on a Prodigy, and Death will be taking out Cyclops as well. Spice answering that one with the pick on the Ryan, so a 4v4 fight, but it looks like NoWeaver's actually going to be taking this one with a couple more picks.
That's why I find it difficult to run the Symmetra along with the Fair Mercy. As you see, they have swapped off of it here. The fight ends quickly, the Ryan being focused in on point. NoWeaver taking the first control, but that's why I said that it was difficult to run the Symmetra with the Fair Mercy. You just saw the front line kind of get pushed off point, and then without the Ana and only having a Baptiste, it was hard to try and like push into them, you know? So when you lose the first rotation, it's hard for them to push in, especially with an Orisa Ryan. It's very slow comp, which gets Symmetra.
The only good thing you could say came out of having the Pharah is the barrage that they're going to have online here on the side of 6ixGuns, but how Death chooses to use this could be detrimental in whether or not they win or lose this fight. The Barrage going to go out here with the Shatter, and that's going to knock down a couple, so Death, he'll be picking up two and a third pick to follow, so definitely a strong start to this fight for 6ixGuns. They're going to clean this one good, and with only one ultimate used, that's a very, or two rather, that's a very good fight.
The bomb, the Koleski's coming out here from NoWeaver, trying to counter that Shatter, but to no avail. The Shatter Barrage, very strong, getting 5 kills. It's what they needed to get.
Yeah, you'll see Cyclops going over to the McCree here in response to this Pharah Mercy, so a bit of counter swaps coming through, but also something worth mentioning is we saw the Junkrat come out from Riri, so now a bit of the double explosive damage coming out here from 6ixGuns.
It's going to be very difficult for NoWeaver to push into this. The Junkrat and the Fair offering so much spam damage, but they're finding a way. They're pushing in really fast with the May, going to wall off his line of sights.
But 6ixGuns doing a good job of staying together here and keeping that point positioning, which is what you want to see. And the Bongo going out as well. A beat drop in response, and a Shatter tries to come through. That's actually going to knock a couple people over here. Cyclops to find a pick on all, and the res will come through. That was a very shaky Mercy, but in the meantime, Lord Denzo, he will be finding a boop pick, and 2 boops coming through, actually. Not quite sure how you pick a Pharah with a boop, but either way, the picks are coming through for NoWeaver. And for now, 42%.
Yeah, the Shadow coming out, knocking down 2, the backline, the Junkrat and the Baptiste not able to in that fight. The Lamp coming out a little late, not saving the Reinhardt, but pushing them off and taking control will be NoWeaver. I was going to say it would be difficult to push into that comp, but doesn't seem so.
Yeah, and you'll see Kaori have this Coalescence for this fight, and Death, another barrage for him, so how they choose to use that again could win or lose this fight, but in the meantime, you're going to be seeing Prodigy split off the Reinhardt from 6ixGuns, and Owl is actually going to be finding a pick despite that, but in the meantime, Cyclops taking him down. So a trade to come through, but without your main tank for 6ixGuns, pushing into this is going to be a lot harder.
As the Fair Mercy is going to commit to the point, you're just going to send Spice. Spice is the one that's going to just go and push that Fair Mercy.
That's sneaking in. The pick on a Savvy, actually 3 with that barrage, so maybe not as expected of a spot to drop that one in, but Death, he made it work with 3 picks there, and 6ixGuns, they're going to have a nice clean push into this one within BMAC. Another kill for Death, 5 for him. He's really just been cleaning house right now.
NoWeaver gave up so much positioning, the Fair Mercy just backed off. They tried to go back to point to finish off the Fair Mercy, if I'm not mistaken, but it didn't work as they just gave so much space. They allowed the res to come in, and then it was a 6v6, and the Death just flanked around and got a barrage off. There was no D.Va. The D.Va had gone to fight the Mercy, resing by herself, and was not there to help her team against them.
We've seen a couple ultimates come up online here, and the Tire start us off for this fight, and trying to get in on the tanks, and that's actually going to find a DMAC as well as the kill onto the Rhine. So if you're NoWeaver, you're backing up right now. 6ixGuns in a very good spot. They're keeping a couple of their ults here. The Baptiste ult might have been a bit too much, though, but they will have the Valkyrie and the Bongo for next fight. However, on the side of NoWeaver, you're seeing a Blizzard, so this could be huge.
Yeah, the Blizzard and the Deadeye coming out here very strong. The Deadeye can push the Pharmacy, but I said that Prodigy is dead, staggering out this thing.
Yeah,
This will be the
not very
last fight.
strong if you're off the map, and
Yeah,
you have
this
one
will be the
fight to
last
go.
fight.
If
The
they can get
Cyclops.
Prodigy back, the Taxi will be coming through, so NoWeaver gonna try and get on the point, use that Blizzard best they can, but in the meantime, 6ixGuns has had time to charge up this barrage. They're gonna drop the Bongo to make that even quicker here as Death's unloading the damage, and Cyclops to pop high noon, try and push them back a little bit. The Blizzard to come out outside a point, and a beautiful wall as well to keep 6ixGuns in the fight there, so the Blizzard can get maximum value. In the meantime, those fights will be finding Mitra and Savvy to pick off Riri. The barrage coming through again, but Death, he won't be the hero this time around as NoWeaver looking to flip this point, and 6ixGuns, they're gonna be forced to pick into this, or come into this one, but Savvy, he will be taking out all, so it'll be up to Legola to try and get this one going again with potentially a res, but no, Legola's gonna go down, and Joe Tony is gonna follow, and it'll just be the Lucio here for 6ixGuns to try and stall this one out, 95%.
The Blizzard did so much there, forcing the Rhine to pin into the backline, got the Moira, but couldn't protect their team from the Shatter. And that'll just be the point. They couldn't catch.
Riri couldn't get there in time, and despite 6ixGuns showing a pretty good defense towards the end, you thought maybe they'd be able to take that one. You have to ask yourself if maybe using that Baptiste ult the fight before when they really should have kept that one could have made the difference there.
It was just mainly the fact that with an Orisa Rhine, you can't pressure the Blizzard. Prodigy's just going to walk up and Blizzard you no matter what. You don't have a DM to stop it. If there was a Diva, you could possibly see them. The only win condition that NoWeaver had there was Blizzard, and Blizzard won the fight for them. You got to think that had they had a Diva from the beginning, would it have been easier for them to deny win conditions, the main win condition of the Blizzard? So you got to think. We're going to the control center here. We do have 6ixGuns again running that Rhino Ursa. As you said earlier, if there was ever going to see that, it would be this point, but we saw it on some points in fact.
Death throwing us a bit of a curveball here with the Pharah pick still, despite on control center, very closed off map, and Cyclops is going to be on this McCree, so Death might have a tough time, or he might come out here with this curveball and make it work, but for now you're going to see the wall come through, Prodigy cutting off a couple members here, and Savvy, he's going to get 3 picks because of that.
Yeah, the Mei wall coming out and just sectioning off that front line, killing the Reinhardt basically. Always known, Mei wall is a fight-winning ultimate. It's just one Mei wall, the perfect Mei wall can just kill the tank. And there's nothing you can really do about it besides break the wall fast, but if the response from the team with the wall is fast enough, you just kill the Rhine anyway.
Yeah, now the most interesting part of Mei, 6ixGuns, they're going to have to push into this, but they're actually going to use the counter wall to try and just block any potential walls coming through, but still the main tanks are going to get split here for 6ixGuns, so the damage, they're going to unload it. Cyclops is going to find a pick for that one, the Shatter coming through as well, and that might have been a bit overkill if you already had a couple picks, so definitely have to watch this ultimate usage, really from either side so far, but it doesn't matter because NoWeaver, they will be taking the fight regardless.
I like the swap here onto the Mei and the McCree off of that Pharah and that Symmetra. Would have been extremely difficult to really take space with that comp against the Mei and the McCree. Both of those things kind of just denying you space, the thing that you need in Overwatch.
Speaking of space, 6ixGuns trying to take a different space here as they push over to the top left, but NoWeaver doing a very good job of responding to this one. You'll actually see all hiding for Shatter, hoping that they would push through, but that won't be the case here. So 6ixGuns, they're going to have to try and get through without getting split off, but once again, you're seeing a beautiful wall come through for Prodigy, and the high noon to follow up on that one. Maybe would find someone, but no, Prodigy, he's going to be taking down Death, so no picks on the high noon, and the Nana Bush is going to come up from 6ixGuns as well. An interesting decision there as they were already down 2, and it's going to be 3 and 4 now thanks to the double kill coming out from Cyclops.
The Mei wall from Death was used to disengage from the Coalescence, and it wasn't available to really section off Prodigy, not allow him to wall them off. You have to use, if you're pushing into a Mei, you have to use your own Mei wall to stop their Mei wall from going off. Keep the Mei out of line of sight, and you can try to win the fight. You're trying to push in here. As we saw earlier, they did it.
A response fall as well, and Riri's cut off, so he's going to get picked off in the beat drop and Blizzard to come in response. So NoWeaver shutting this one down and taking a clean second map, it looks like, as I don't think 6ixGuns is going to have anyone touch him.
Yeah, you saw Prodigy change up his location, change up his positioning to prevent the Mei wall from stopping him from using his own Mei wall. You saw Death Mei wall onto the left side of the choke, where they thought Prodigy was looking for him to stop him from walling them off and really just try to stop them from winning the fight. But Prodigy went to the other side, surprised them even, and the McCree got caught out because of it.
Yeah, and NoWeaver taking a clean 2 maps there, so is that a trend we're going to see throughout this entire series? Who knows? But 6ixGuns, they definitely had a couple things that they went for that just did not pay off. Trying to run that Pharah on Control Center and having to make a swap so late into the round could have been part of what maybe caused them to just not be able to push back into this one, because once you got NoWeaver set up with Prodigy on this Mei, who has been hitting beautiful walls all game, it's been very tough for 6ixGuns to get in there.
Maybe they were hoping that they would take point fast enough that the Mei wall wouldn't be a concern with the Symmetra, but the Lucio coming out from NoWeaver just allowed them to push up really quickly, get to the point extremely quickly. The Rhine rollout, it's not as known, but if you walk out slightly from the spawn point on Rhine and you charge, you can get the point in the first like 7 seconds, like 6 seconds, extremely quick. And that's what you saw come out from NoWeaver, and they took point so fast that the comp couldn't get set up. The Symmetra wants to get set up, and when it can't get set up, it tends to fail.
Right, and a substitution actually coming out from 6ixGuns, so it'll be Hysuya subbing in for this one. Rialto will be our second map, so maybe there's a reason why we're seeing Hysuya come in. It could have something to do with, I believe that's the off tank that they switched out there, so it could be a Zarya person over a Diva player. Not quite sure, but for now, it'll be interesting to see how that affects the game.
You did see the lack of the Diva there kind of hurt them. The Blizzard uncontested Prodigy, no one to worry about. With that, Blizzard can just throw it anywhere he wants. Blizzard's such a strong ultimate in Overwatch right now that if you don't have anything to try and counter it, it becomes extremely difficult to try to win fight after fight after fight. But we will be going to Rialto here. Rialto, another map will be fair. 6ixGuns is picking the map. Maybe they want to play more of that fair on first point.
Yeah, and no doubt about it, you'll be seeing NoWeaver actually start off on the defense here, so maybe we see a Pharah coming out from them as well. Obviously, we've had 2 Pharah maps going into this series, but maybe Pharah should not be the focal point of 6ixGuns, as despite hitting very key barrages, it's been the overall control of space and the control of point that's been benefiting NoWeaver throughout this series. So maybe a Mei look for 6ixGuns could be a bit better, but as we said, they like to play a bit off meta, so if they want to stray away from that Mei, they're going to have to do a bit better than what we saw in Lijiang.
If we see the Fair coming out on attack for 6ixGuns, I do in fact want to see not a Symmetra. That's something that I don't want to see Symmetra on this point. First of all. Second of all, I want to see the Mei, most likely, because the Mei allows your front line to try and like buy space or save them even. For example, if you need to stop their front line from aggressing on you, you wall them off, and you give your Fair more time to do her magic. The counter to a Fair mercy is just kind of focus the ground game. It can be to focus the ground game. Can focus the fire, but we didn't see that coming out from NoWeaver. We saw NoWeaver just win the fight on point. We just saw them fight the front line.
Yep, and 6ixGuns to come out on the attack here with the Pharah Mercy comp, potentially. Obviously, that's subject to change as they are still in their spawn room, but what we're seeing from NoWeaver, a bit more of a locked-in comp here. It'll be the Widow Mei look, so the Rhine Diva will still be coming out from NoWeaver as well, and yeah, Hysuya subbed in to play that off-tank, and probably the Diva as well. They're looking to shut down Prodigy's Blizzards here, like you said.
Cyclops was playing the McCree earlier, but decided that Widow with the longer line of sights that Rialto first point can afford, and that Fair potentially coming out from Death as we see him hovering it right now. Correct assumption. The Cyclops Widow can probably get a lot more value than Speaker at this point.
Yeah, and aside from the long sightlines that Rialto offers, it's also not a control point, so obviously the pacing's a bit slower here, so Cyclops can really take his time to hit these shots and shut down the Pharah, but Death, they'll be starting off with an up-top, looking down approach here, and it's actually going to force NoWeaver to back up a little bit, give their Widow a better opportunity to take out this Pharah, but that'll give 6ixGuns the space they need, so Death, this Pharah has been paying off so far, at least spacing-wise.
Yeah, they forced them back even without the Mei. As I said, they do have a McCree. Another pick that is fairly decent on this first point, as it has the line of sight, like I said earlier. But we'll see how they utilize it again. They can just control that corner so well. Shooting in from the back, trying to get value, but...
Yeah, you're really waiting for a pick here from Cyclops or Death, and that's really going to be the green go button here for either side. But for now, it's just been frontline poke, but you're actually going to see a bit of a commitment coming out from NoWeaver. They're going to throw in the wall and push off. Death will be the first to fall from Cyclops. Widow shot, like we said, waiting on one of those picks. But in the meantime, Spice will be taking out Dotoni, and actually the main tanks from either side will be going down here. 2 kills for Spice in this one so far, and NoWeaver, they're going to be cleaning this one up.
Savvy going perhaps a bit too aggressive with that charge there, but as I said earlier, there's 2 counters to it there. Shoot the Fair out the sky, or just focus the ground game. And while Cyclops did shoot the Fair out the sky, you did see the general strategy from NoWeaver there being focusing the front line. They're down 2 players. It's a 5v4 at the very least if your Widow is trying to engage the Fair. If it's a 5v4, that's something you want to take.
Yeah, taking the initiative as well. Definitely going to be benefiting NoWeaver if they keep that one up. But for now, they are going to have a Coalescence because of that one first fight. And maybe even a Blizzard too, and as well as a Bomb. So very good job building up these ults here for NoWeaver. And on the side of 6ixGuns, you're really only going to see a couple ults here. You got the High Noon, the Nano Boost, and the Diva Bomb.
Barrage coming in here. The High Noon though early.
Yeah, Riri, he threw that one out and wasn't going to find anyone with that one, but in the meantime, Death and Hisuya, they've been bought the time needed to build these ultimates, so how they use that could affect this fight, and for now, you're going to see the bomb go up early. That's not going to catch anyone, though, as Cyclops will be finding a pick on Yamitra in the meantime, but the Coalescence to go out, trying to shut down Death, and Death actually got pretty low there. They're going to keep it on him as well, so they will be cleaning up the Far Mercy in the backline, and just a remacking Diva Bomb coming out there from Spice, so NoWeaver, they're in control.
A very valid attempt there from 6ixGuns, trying to buy space for the Pharah, the bomb coming out, the High Noon coming out would just try to hide. And when you're hiding, that's what Pharah likes, you're clumped up typically, or you're by yourself and just poke that one area. But you just saw a very well organized defense there from NoWeaver, where they just use cooldowns on rotation to try and keep as much space as possible while minimizing line of sight or damage by Pharah.
And a bit of a duel breaking out early here as Death trying to get around to the backside and take down Cyclops before this fight gets going so that he can have free reign over the rest of NoWeaver. But in the meantime, again, this initiative we've been talking about all game, Prodigy getting in there early, and he's going to take down Riri, and the Blizzard going out onto Dononian as well. And so, yeah, the picks are just going to come through on this frontline battle, and that's what NoWeaver's been doing best, and they've been doing it good all game.
Yeah, while Cyclops is there, Spice is still alive on that Diva, and Diva, as we should all know, is the major Pharah counter. You can just, on 4-second boosters, you can just jump at her and just DM her the entire time. It's very dangerous for Pharah. But you just saw there, again, them focusing the front line, just speeding onto them with that Mei wall and just trying to take the 5v4 or the 6v4. What you want to see from NoWeaver here.
Yeah, and a minute to go on the clock, almost 40 seconds now, and you'll see the Shatter come through, but not really find many people, and a counter Shatter as well, just kind of throwing those ones out there, but the pin's going to come through for Dononi, and he's probably going to go down for that one, as that might have been a bit ambitious, and NoWeaver, they're going to surround him and take him out, and Death, he's had this barrage all round so far, and has yet to find an opportunity to use it. Cyclops doing a really good job of not letting Death close the distance to drop that one in, and he'll almost have an Infrasight.
Yeah, as I said, Widow on this first point is very strong because you have such a long line of sight onto those where Pharah wants to come in. Cyclops getting all the bang for his buck on this Widow pick here, finding multiple picks onto Death and really just denying so much space from the Pharah. The Pharah is not allowed to do what she wants.
Yeah, another Coalescence for Kaori as well. Could be using that to take the Far Mercy out of the sky like we saw last fight, and for now the High Noon will be coming out. Nothing so far, but Death, he is going to go ahead and drop the barrage in, finding Lordenzo, and it'll actually be 2 picks for 6ixGuns here, so NoWeaver trying to respond by throwing out a couple ultimates, and the counter charge coming in as well, and Prodigy, he's going to finish out Yamitra, and another Blizzard for Prodigy, just really keeping things locked down. It's so hard to contest a cart if you're just going to get frozen up. NoWeaver, they're going to be taking this now.
With Coalescence keeping Prodigy up for so long allows him to build that Blizzard and really end the fight. You had 2 picks there for 6ixGuns Academy. 6ixGuns, sorry. Not 6ixGuns Academy, it's NoWeaver Academy. But for 6ixGuns, you did see them get those 2 early picks, which is extremely good for them. But Prodigy, it just has so much time to build a Blizzard, and Blizzard's going to win that fight every time.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very, very hard hold here if you're 6ixGuns. If they're going to lock this one down at all, they're going to have to play very close to the spawn doors probably and just make sure that they can give themselves as many fights as possible. They probably have an opportunity for a 2-fight situation, but again, they're going to have to press right up against NoWeaver's spawn doors, and that's even if they want to do that. If they decide to play back, it's going to be a 1 fight to win it all type of situation.
Even if you press up, I don't think you have 2 full fights. You probably only have 1 fight and a really staggered fight, probably a ball touching.
Right.
The cart very close. It's just on that corner, and you don't have that much time unless it's a very staggered attack where you kill someone really late. You don't have that much time to really get back and contest. I think the front hold here could be really risky for 6ixGuns. They may not opt for it, but it is an option for them, or they can just mirror what NoWeaver did on the defense, play that Mei. But Death not on that Mei right now, on that Hanzo.
Yeah, the heroes we're seeing from 6ixGuns basically screams to us that they're going to be playing back and waiting for these picks to come through, and really all that is to do right now if you're the tanks is just try and stay on card as much as possible to make sure that it doesn't move up, and that's going to be Dononi's job, and they're going to have the ranged healing coming out from Ana and Baptiste to make sure that those tanks can stay alive on cart while you wait for your snipers to get picked. So this is a comp entirely built around your snipers, but with no res on the defense, it might be a dangerous game here for this Widow duel. Riri, he's going to have to really come out on top for this one.
Prodigy's Mei is also really dangerous here for something where their front line is just a Diva frozen up.
Yeah, already. Yeah, Prodigy getting the value that you were literally hinting at, and he was already getting it. I mean, the DMAC coming through so early here in the High Suya, and NoWeaver, they've just been playing this frontline game all game. But in the meantime, Riri, he will actually be finishing off Prodigy, so what could be a potential sniper clutch here, as Death is going to find Koyori as well. So 2 picks coming through for 6ixGuns, and Death trying to get a top-down angle as well, trying to flank a little bit and take out Cyclops in the back before you can do any massive damage. But in the meantime, he's interesting the Shatter for going on it.
That is what you need from your snipers to really pick up picks, whereas the Mei is going to allow NoWeaver to take the front line and take space extremely quickly. The snipers have to be there to neutralize, to get picks. That's the only thing they can do in the situation. The Mei is just going to allow you to just kind of walk up on them.
Yeah, the snipers have to take advantage of the fact that they have all the space they need while their tanks get chunked down in the front, and if you're not finding picks while this Mei push is happening, it's going to be a very risky situation. But for now, you're going to be hearing the end game music playing already as NoWeaver, they're going to be taking a top angle here, trying to get in and really take the fight right to 6ixGuns and limit the amount of space the snipers have to take him out here. So a smart rotation, and Haisuya almost getting frozen up here as 6ixGuns backing up a little bit, but the Dragon comes through for death, and that'll find 2. So yeah, this is probably going to be a backup for NoWeaver.
Yeah, good Dragon coming out there on the other angle. Only using the Hanzo ult this fight. That's very good for them. Yeah, that's finding 4. That's really good for them here. But KOA, with that Coalescence coming in here, going to allow them to push up. Extremely aggressive with no Mei wall on 6ixGuns to wall off the tanks and chunk them down when they try to aggress. So full aggression can go on here from NoWeaver. Only thing that can temper that is the snipers, but you can send Spice.
The Shatter coming out though, and that's going to knock 2 over. And if they can clean up on this one, they're going to be looking at what could be maybe 2 fights left. But no, actually, Kiori will be fighting the pick on the death, and the wall coming through as well. This looking like the final fireworks here for 6ixGuns. Maybe going to be able to hold on here as Riri does find the pick on the Spice, and trades coming through for now, but Kiori finding yet another pick. Haisuya going to go down, and NoWeaver, they just have to play the cart. They do have the spawn advantage as well, and as long as they have their Mei, they control the space for the majority of the time here. And yeah, the Blizzard, the space control really coming out here. Donodi probably going to go down, but the Immortality Field will come out just to delay that a little bit. But 6ixGuns, really, they can't get anyone on the cart right now that could sustain for a long time. But a couple Dragons going to get eaten up, though. Spice, they're going to really shut that one down, and NoWeaver will be finding the trades here that they need, the beat drops to come through as well, and they should be taking this map.
As I said, even with an even fight, the Mei is like a pseudo tank. Another tank on the card allows them to just push forward here. The Shatter trying to, ooh, no, doesn't matter.
It was a big Shatter, but unfortunately 6ixGuns did not have enough guys there to get back into that one, and we talk about spawn advantage, and that's why it was such a hard hold for them to begin with, as they have such a long walk if they get picked off there. And you saw the snipers starting to find value as well, and you really thought for a second that they were going to be able to flip that one around. Riri picking up a couple, but Kaori on this Moira was able to just have pick after pick for that last fight and really guarantee that the frontline battle was won here for NoWeaver, and they were able to push through.
So far, we've seen a tale of 2 teams. One team in NoWeaver that wants to go action, has the Moira, has the Lucio, has the Mei. They want to just go full in on you. And then you have the other team, 6ixGuns, want to play back a little bit more, playing those Pharah comps, the Orisa, something that is slower. They allow you, give you more time. The snipers, they give you more time to get value, but it takes longer for them to do so. Whereas NoWeaver's just all in, and we've seen it pay off 2-0 for NoWeaver in this match. So
yeah, for sure. And I mean, now that we're 2 maps in, it's definitely a good time for us to start looking at potential match MVPs. Obviously, those in chat can vote on that down below, but for now, I mean, if we're talking MVPs, there obviously could be an MVP from either side here, but you're most likely going to be looking at NoWeaver, as they've just been on their game today, and definitely someone to highlight is Prodigy on the Mei.
Prodigy on the Mei. The Mei pick in of itself is allowing them to do so much more. There's just so much more frontline, but I'm sorry for saying frontline so much, but we've seen so much pressure onto the tanks of 6ixGuns. Don Tony doesn't even get to play the game sometimes. Same thing with the Diva. It's just so hard for them to try and play the game. It's so hard to hold forward in front of your team when there's a Mei wall always threatening to wall you off and kill you. So
yeah, and I mean, despite what has been very good Mei walls as well, if we're looking at just the rest of NoWeaver, their follow-up on it has been brilliant. I mean, the speed boosts are correctly timed, and you're seeing the tanks get in there and do the damage that they need to do in order to really clean these fights up. So 6ixGuns trying to change up strategies too across maps. You almost saw them pull out a Genji Ana combo on defense, something definitely worth keeping an eye on as well if they pull that out here for Volskaya Industries, which is looking to be our 3rd map.
Volskaya Industries, we might see some more Widow Fire here, maybe less so the Fire, but this point, you're probably going to see Mei from NoWeaver as well. NoWeaver playing that Mei on all points so far, on all points of Li Jing and all points of Rialto, so we'll probably be seeing the Mei coming out here. But for 6ixGuns, I'm less certain about what they will play. They could play the Fire, they could not. We've seen 2 maps where it hasn't worked out. it's unknown what they're going to go for here. They might try to mirror Maze, but we don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about how we've seen the Mei on all points, but there's a reason we have seen the Mei on all points. As NoWeaver, they've looked absolutely dominant playing to their strengths here. So 6ixGuns, they're going to have to start thinking of how they're going to shut that one down. Obviously, they had a brief moment here between maps to maybe figure that one out, but there's definitely needs to be a change in strategy from them. They need to do a better job at potentially protecting their front line from these Mei walls, as their tanks have been getting split off all game, really. And Prodigy doing a really good job on this Mei.
Yeah. We've just seen him take so much space. But for what I want to see from 6ixGuns here is if they decide to mirror the Mei, they did that on Lijiang Control Center. I want to see those counter walls that they showed. They were doing counter walls. It's just Prodigy was doing such a good job of just avoiding that. Prodigy decided to change up his positioning every single time, so the Mei wall that was coming out wouldn't block him off every single time. So you got to see a better effort from 6ixGuns to track that Mei's location mid-fight, or between fights, I should say.
Yeah, and I mean, we just got word as well that our MVP poll is officially up, actually, under the stream. So you can vote on that at any point in time. However, it might be a good idea to wait, because we do play 4 maps here regardless of the score. So even if it's a 3-0 clean sweep so far for NoWeaver, you might still be seeing a 4th map come through. So, and you never know, maybe that 4th map actually goes over to 6ixGuns and they adapt after a couple maps. But for now, we're going to be focusing on map 3 here, as NoWeaver on the defense will be setting up with a McCree Mei look, what we talked about before. And it'll actually be over on the 6ixGuns side, at least right now, a Zarya look, which is a hero we haven't seen all match.
Zarya, again, I think has the same problems as the Orisa in that you don't have a D.Va. And the D.Va is such a good pick into a Mei because it can deny Blizzard. Such a vital ultimate, and if there's nothing to contest the Blizzard, it really just... it gets free value, where the Mei isn't ever scared of throwing it out. It just throws it out every fight they have it.
I think what we're about to see here could be a potential TP look, as Riri is on the Symmetra, and unless that's a troll pick, it might be trying to take it wide here and come from the backside, which might be a strategy NoWeaver isn't expecting, as the Rein Zarya will be the look. So if they do want to TP, they just have to get the Rein Zarya across, but it doesn't look like they're going to be TPing to the coast. It might just be somewhere else on the map, actually, here.
To rush down the point, perhaps, try to take point pressure from them, but...
or even high ground here.
Could be difficult with the way that NoWeaver is positioned.
A TP directly behind, actually, and yeah, Spice is going to catch that one instantly. Oh, a bait teleporter, yeah, but the Mei wall's still going to come through, so Prodigy doing a nice job reading that. But in the meantime, the bait, it is going to pay off. 2 picks coming through for 6ixGuns. That was a brilliant play, actually. It's not something you would expect to see there, but they made it work, and Riri finding a couple picks in that fight as well, so this Symmetra has been key to taking this first point.
It forced NoWeaver to rotate and gave Death the angles he needed to pick the Moira. A very, very interesting strategy. I don't know how easily replicatable that is, because if the team does know that in fact it is a bait, they will just not rotate. But it seems we'll be having a pause here. But as I said, a very interesting strategy, but I'm not sure it could work more than once. But it did its job the first time. It did in the first point. So
the pause coming through as well gives us more time to talk about what we just witnessed. That was brilliant. The only thing you say is that might not be replicatable, right? But if you throw the telly behind and actually do take it, then maybe you just keep them on their toes with whether or not you're actually going to be going through the teleporter or not. But either way, NoWeaver's probably going to be breaking them from now on, just keeping an eye out for them.
Yeah, just get an anti on that teleporter as well. So you see Kira swapping over to the Ana, over that Moira, where they can just anti the teleporter if they come out. So if they do take teleporter, they're anti. If they don't take teleporter, they're still in the same location they were before the Fox match. So.
My best guess is it'll be a stim wall coming out from Riri before the swap, but actually, no, he's going to be going down here and the teleporter to come out, but it doesn't look like anybody's going to be taking that one, as, yeah, you're right, Kaori was waiting with that anti-nade for that telly to come through. So for now, 6ixGuns is just doing a bit of poke. Obviously very hard to push this second point if you're missing even one team member here, but actually, Spice caught out in a pretty bad spot, but they will be grabbing the Mega and being able to back up. But in the meantime, a sleep coming through over on the front line, as Savvy's going to go onto the ground for a little bit, but he'll be back up, and good job from NoWeaver, just really closing out any gaps that 6ixGuns trying to push into here. But yeah, Prodigy icicle to the head.
It seems we will be sticking to the Symmetra here for that wall, a very good ultimate, but I'm not sure how great it's going to be for them to push into this play. We did see something interesting from Death, where before the fight started, he took a very aggro position on a flank and did manage to pick Cyclops, but we'll see if he does that again. We're not sure, but...
yeah, but even with the sim wall from 6ixGuns, you are going to have the Blizzard for Prodigy, and that obviously goes right through it. And the wall
might have been a bit far back as well, as Dononi is still caught up in a bad spot, but the Nano will come through to keep him up for the time being, and the Shatter to come out as well, and the Dragon following up on that one, so good combos coming out from 6ixGuns, as Kiori's going to be left to try and find an anti, and the Boostio would come out as well, so the support's trying to make the carry plays to clutch this one up, but in the meantime, Slycops, he will be in a position to get back into this fight potentially, but no picks for now, and now that the tanks are closing out on him, he's in a rough spot. Spike getting onto the point though, trying to just keep things going on his ball, and the Shatter to come through as well, but that was a beautiful turn and block by Dononi, really locking that one down, but Prodigy trying to be the hero with this Blizzard, but in the meantime, you'll be seeing a couple members of 6ixGuns get frozen up, and Death to fall as well as Reach, so the picks coming through for NoWeaver now, that's 3 for them, and if they can just keep things stalled out, they obviously have a massive spawn advantage for this point, and 6ixGuns, despite taking 2 ticks, might actually be losing this fight.
Yeah, the massive Shatter opening that up for 6ixGuns, but they lost the stall fight where the Blizzard came out, killed the Hanzo, and the Sim as well lost her life soon after. Unfortunate the Mei was there. I said again, there was no D.Va to stop the Mei ult from coming out, typically, but the Zarya did buy them a lot of space, but they will be sticking on the Zarya here.
Yeah, they'll also be sticking on the Sim, yeah, from 6ixGuns, so they're looking to make it work with these teleporter plays, and you have to ask yourself if that's maybe worth it, but the only good thing Sim offers to me is once you get set up on point with these turrets, it's going to be very hard to push back in one at a time, but you saw NoWeaver successfully do it, yeah, and Death, he's actually going to be finding a pick on a Cyclops there as the fight looking to break out. 6ixGuns, they do have the pick they need to go, and not really quite sure what they're waiting on for now, but the Nano Boost is going to come online for Legola and a Coalescence as well. Kaori trying to deny this. That's a lot better placement of that Sim wall than what we saw last time as well, and the pin from Dononi to come through. Savvy's probably going to go down as well, and yeah, the picks are coming through here for 6ixGuns, despite what might have looked like a rough start and a couple rough decisions. They are going to be cleaning up on their mistakes and taking second point here.
Yeah. It did seem like a rough start there. Even though they got the first pick, it was very hesitant there to really engage. They did just wait for the Sim wall. It would seem they waited for the Sim wall to come out to engage. But again, another great shatter from Don Tony. Really just getting as much value as possible.
Yeah.
The Symmetra on paper seems like an odd pick, but I guess with the teleporter, it gives you like half a Mercy res back from spawn, and also it provided a lot of frontline pressure. But most of that was on the back of Death's Hanzo, just getting picks, every pick you needed. So
yeah, and I mean the Sim wall did come out in the middle of points, so you're not really sure just how much value that might have added to 6ixGuns' push. But one thing I will say is from the perspective of its defender, when you see a big wall split you up on point like that, maybe there's a bit of an effect on the mental game. Now, obviously, that may not be something 6ixGuns is going for, but either way, you know, it can be a pretty intimidating scenario, and Riri making the Sim work to get that second cap, and now it'll be 2 minutes 54 on the clock for them, so NoWeaver looking to push better than that, or break even, or maybe not even get to second point at all. We'll see just how good the defense is here from 6ixGuns.
Again, we see this sniper style coming out from 6ixGuns, the Hanzo and the Widow trying to play a lot slower, trying to get picks, trying to get value when they're trying to push in, trying to grant line of sight to them. We will probably be seeing the main McCree again from NoWeaver, and perhaps we just see another Rialto happen. You see NoWeaver go super aggro on the front line and just take them out, and the snipers are just left to just shoot at a D.Va Matrix or a shield.
Yeah, but you're actually not going to be having the Baptiste this time around from Legola, so even less heals available for the main tank, potentially. So you're really going to make sure that you're getting these picks as the snipers before NoWeaver can close the distance, but NoWeaver doing a really good job at taking rotations that deny those sight lines as they go over onto the high ground rotation here, and just trying to get through with no lives lost. And the snipers, yeah, they can't really find much value here as the rotation's very clean, and they're going to charge up a couple cooldowns here as they get ready to go back into this one.
Death will be looking to flank here. He was flanking earlier in the map, but they're looking to flank here, get those angles. We could see the D.Va flying to him, but taking point here.
Now that NoWeaver's on the point as well, it's going to be a lot harder to contest the 6ixGuns, as obviously you're running 2 snipers, whereas you're going into a Mei, so the positioning means everything here for this Mei comp. But in the meantime, Savvy will be taking down Riri with that Fire Strike, and don't only to respond with a pick on the Cyclops, so a break-even fight here as Legola's going to res up Riri. So 6ixGuns, they will be full strength here for the defense, but it actually looks like Hisoya is going to be taking a lot of pressure trying to get out here, but Dononi getting split again. These Mei walls have been money, and the snipers, they do have high ground angles, and Death actually will be finding a pick here, so maybe the snipers can break this one back open for 6ixGuns. Is Death finding 2, and Riri in a pretty good spot up top to find some more picks. Yeah, Spikes to go down as well, but in the meantime, again, like we've been talking about all game, these frontline battles, you saw the tanks push in and get a nice little shatter there for NoWeaver, so for sure going to be a cleanup here on point, and NoWeaver, they're going to be taking first point with a bit of trouble, but nothing they couldn't handle.
That wall killing Don Tony really saved the point for them there, as the Reinhardt had a free shatter and shattered 3, the Diva and 2 backline characters, both the Sniper and the Mercy of Hanzo. Like, that just won them that point, even though it looked really bad for them, losing many early. The Mei wall killing off the tanks, and with less tanks, your front line has so much more free reign.
Yeah, and if you're NoWeaver right now, you're trying to get on point and make this blizzard happen, but in the meantime, actually, Reread's going to be taking down Cyclops and Death to come in with the Dragon and a pick of his own here, so 6ixGuns going up 2 in this fight very early, and so for NoWeaver, you're just looking to reset.
Yeah, we'll be seeing here the Nano and the Blizzard available for no. But the Valkyrie and the site's coming out early.
Yeah, Infrasights
in rotation.
Coming out here on the side of 6ixGuns, so yeah, again, getting these picks before they can close the distance here and use that Blizzard maybe, but the Valkyrie to be popped as well, so 2 ults coming out before the fight, and actually they're going to be forcing the Diva Bomb from Spice here as he gets the remake, but in the meantime, Kaori finding a pick on a Don't Only, and they're actually going to be taking out both tanks here, and a Dragon to come through as well, so 6ixGuns really looking to lock this one down, but it seems like NoWeaver's finding the picks they need to push into this one.
Yeah, and they'll just take point here. It's so much strong. It's so strong on point with that Mei character that everyone just has to run away from the front line of NoWeaver.
Maybe a bit of a premature nano, but yeah, no, they just went ahead and took point.
But the Mei just denies so much space. It's crazy for them that no one can come and touch. If you're not a tank, you can't even come close. And you saw that everyone ran away, and they just took the point.
I think it's safe to say here, if you're 6ixGuns, that this sniper far away approach just is not working. They need to change the game and go to something a bit more aggressive, as once NoWeaver has gotten on point and just made it all about the objective, there's been absolutely nothing 6ixGuns can do. I mean, they found a couple nice fights thanks to the picks coming in from the snipers, but it's just not enough, and you're seeing NoWeaver win the long game here, as 6ixGuns, despite winning a couple fights with explosive plays from the snipers, you can't just count on that all the time, and their tanks are being put in a very rough spot.
NoWeaver is also doing a really good job of denying LOS of those snipers, denying their value. So I think we're just seeing here why Mei was considered such a strong hero, is considered such a strong hero when she's not banned, is that she gives so much space created for your team compared to a team without a Mei. And we might have to just see in this finish of this map, we might have to see 6ixGuns swap over to that Mei of their own and try to get the same amount of value, but it doesn't look like they will. Taking to the Symmetra Hanzo, which worked the first time. It did.
Yeah.
But we'll see if NoWeaver does adapt, just nade that TP if they come through, or just not nade that TP.
Something I have in mind here that they could potentially do is maybe actually take the telly, throw it in the same spot, take it this time, as they obviously didn't last time, so maybe NoWeaver would expect them to run the same play, but either way, it's risky, yeah, to come out on the Symmetra to begin with, and High is going to get slept up early as well, so again, playing to the range is NoWeaver here, as 6ixGuns trying to break this one open, and Death, he'll be pushing very far forward here. The tank's not with him, and so yeah, it seems he got the memo to actually back it up a little bit here, as they're going to be waiting on something here. Maybe a swap?
Yeah, they swapped off of the Symmetra, swapped over to the Widow, trying to mirror the snipers of NoWeaver, who decided to swap off the Mei. They decided to swap onto snipers to counter the Symmetra strategy. I'm not sure if that was the greatest play. They could have still kept the Mei probably and does just as well, but now they're going to swap over to the snipers and try to get their own value with no Mei touch the front line.
Either way, you're going to see Riri getting closed out on quickly here. Spice going right onto that Widowmaker. You see someone isolated like that, you have to take advantage, and yeah, Spice will be finding the pick for that, but you're actually seeing Legolas stay behind here as the rest of the team pushes to the other high ground. Maybe he wants to force a rotation, and yeah, that's a brilliant play there, as Prodigy getting very low, but Spice actually able to close the distance and keep Prodigy alive, and Death will be finding a pick on a Prodigy though. 2 actually, as Cyclops goes down as well, so 6ixGuns really locking this one down as Don't Only tries to get in there and find a pick on a Savvy, and they will. So despite a res coming through here, NoWeaver, they're just losing man after man.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with the swap to the double sniper on defense from NoWeaver. I feel like the Mei was working just fine, and you just allowed them to swap over to snipers. Death is such a good Hanzo. I don't know if you want to really try to mirror his Hanzo. He hits like, he's crazy. He hits a lot of shots. So I'm not so sure you would want to mirror, but they decided to. As they pick up the Torb now. Again,
yeah.
No Mei, but the Torb.
Not quite sure why they're so lenient to go to Mei all of a sudden. It's been their bread and butter and it's been working, but for now, Spice will be taking out Death, so NoWeaver able to halt the snowball effect a little bit. But for now,
it'll just be a settled fight here as 6ixGuns most likely going to wait on their Hanzo before they go back into this one. They will be having the Dragon as well, so definitely want to get your Hanzo back.
But this is such... But all these swaps coming out from NoWeaver so late, they've lost 3 ults here. They only have the Nano and the Shadow available bomb to follow. But 6ixGuns has the Nano and the Dragons and will be approaching Shadow.
They're building a quick grab as well, and maybe that's what they're waiting on here. They're probably going to throw the Nano onto Haisuya, but no, it'll actually go to Don't Only. So trying to keep the tanks up here to build that grab, and the Dragon will actually come out now. So the Shatter in response, though, going to knock over both tanks, and saw a bit of patience coming out from NoWeaver. Maybe it'll pay off, but 6ixGuns still finding the picks despite that, and Spice throwing out the bomb, but Prodigy will be finding a pick on this board, so NoWeaver, they do have a chance to come back into this one, but in the meantime, Riri, the sniper, finding 3, and Savvy picking off the Nitro, but maybe there's just too many picks for 6ixGuns for NoWeaver to get back into this one, despite 6ixGuns going down a couple members here. Haisuya will be going over to the ball to come back quickly, but 6ixGuns does have it locked down for now, but Cyclops coming in quickly, trying to go to the back and put some pressure on that Widow, but it doesn't matter as they're only going to be taking that one out, and Legola to follow with the pick on a Spice, but Prodigy getting on here, going down quickly, but the pick on a Death did come through, and NoWeaver slowly but surely are finding the picks that they might need, but it doesn't matter because Don't Only on this Rhine finding so many kills in that fight, and yeah, 6ixGuns taking that point.
I find it puzzling why they were so hesitant to play Mei, or they just didn't play Mei that round when you had seen it succeed so well earlier, where you were just able to focus on a frontline or deny frontline. With no Mei, the Rhine just goes forward with the Nano and just does his thing, builds so much space. There's no Mei to really check him. So you saw NoWeaver play the style of the Mei and focusing on so well. I'm not sure why try to mirror with snipers or even swap up to a Torb.
Yeah, I didn't understand the Torb thing at all, really. I mean, you saw the turret come out towards the back of point.
Like...
Yeah, exactly. And also, really, like, even with the tanks, it's not like there was any sort of dive play, and that's normally what Torb is used for, is to, like, shut down the flanking, and really there wasn't much of that on the side of 6ixGuns. So definitely a questionable pick, and another potentially questionable pick here is NoWeaver just changing up their game altogether, going to a more dive-focused look as they have the Sombra Tracer, and on the defense, 6ixGuns sticking to stuff that we've seen from them pretty much all game.
I think they're expecting the snipers here from 6ixGuns and trying to just jump on them instead of trying to avoid them or LOS them, but I think they did such a good job of that first round, so it questions me again, why not just stick to the Mei? You did so well with it the first time. But speaking of Torb, if Death does die on the Hanzo, will he swap Torb into this dive comp? Like I said, like we said earlier, Torb does so well in the dive.
He does, yeah, and obviously you're going to see NoWeaver trying to win this first fight outright and then build up that EMP to probably help them take second point, but for now, it'll be all about the picks here coming out from these snipers on 6ixGuns like we've seen them go to all game, and for now, Cyclops trying to get in the back with this Tracer as well and make things happen here as the supports and some of the DPS as well set up on high ground, but the ball coming in and doing quick damage there onto the Baptiste, and a hack coming through as well onto the Baptiste, so yeah, he was obviously the intended target there, but in the meantime, the picks are coming through for the snipers, but Prodigy will be finding one, and Savvy to find another as well, so quick picks coming in, and Savvy finding 2 there, shutting down the res as well, so the picks coming in for NoWeaver, and 6ixGuns, they can't really do anything but huddle up in the back and try and survive this one.
Very dangerous res coming in from Legola, and is punished for it, and we will be seeing them just focus them into the small room and try and just pressure them out, try to force them to come to point. As they have to, they'll just die.
Yeah, and NoWeaver doing a really good job at taking their time there.
Yeah, that's what you want to do on the dive, though, is force them into that room and force them to try to walk out to point as you cap it. And that's where you get your value. You try to hit them in rotation. Dive is going to punish you when you're trying to rotate. Dive will not punish you if you're standing still. Dive will punish you when you're trying to rotate.
And you're going to be seeing a couple counter swaps coming out from 6ixGuns as well, as you see the Mei Reaper looks. So something we haven't seen from them all game, the Reaper, and really the Mei either, I don't think we've seen from 6ixGuns yet. So
Death did play it shortly on control center.
Oh, okay. So going back to the Mei, however, regardless, so definitely still a different look here for 6ixGuns as the Mortality Field's coming out, and it's actually revealed that the Shatter is online for Don't Only thanks to that hack, but it doesn't matter. Cyclops picking off Legolas, so no Ana plays in this fight here as the picks are coming through. Savvy is doing a great job of breaking this one open with the Monkey, but he's going to be going down to that Shatter. A big Shatter coming through, so 6ixGuns, they're going to be locking this one down here as the ultimates were just too strong.
Yeah, the dive coming in really strong there to start, but mid-fight, dive started to lose its value, and the Shadow came out enough to block it. But now Savvy going over to Reinhardt. Not too near,
a couple swaps actually here as you saw the ball get swapped over on the side of Spice, and you saw Cyclops go over to the McCree as well. So a different look for NoWeaver, but still no Mei. Obviously, they're playing off that EMP, and then maybe that's a swap we see in a overtime scenario. But really, it looks like we might just be down to one fight potentially here, as NoWeaver taking their time to get into this one, and the walls to come out early. So 6ixGuns kind of using that aggression that we wanted them to use pretty much all game, and the beat in response as well. That's a 4-man EMP, though. Might not be enough, however, as the grab is going to come through for 6ixGuns. So the cleanup coming through here. Hi Suya finding 3, and a beautiful grab as well. So yeah, it'll be a one-fight situation here for NoWeaver, and they're going to be going over to the
You're seeing the aggression that NoWeaver utilized with that Mei so match, but now 6ixGuns is using it with the Mei of their own. You see the swap over the Mei from Death paying dividends and just not copying the style, but playing the same style that NoWeaver played when they did play on that Mei.
Yeah, and that's going to have a Blizzard here, and that might be the difference here. Even though they're in a Mei mirror, a Blizzard is obviously very much more value than just Mei on her own, and you're going to see Prodigy get split off and taken out early, so NoWeaver a massive disadvantage trying to break open the second point. The Shatter to come through as well, but that won't be finding as many picks as the Blizzard did, as a beat to come out for 6ixGuns and the Blossom to follow. 2 picks for Riri, make that 3. The DMAC ends the kill into the D.Va, so Riri cleaning house here, and really 6ixGuns just had too many ultimates from the late swaps for NoWeaver to handle.
You just saw the same style that NoWeaver utilized. Exactly that 6ixGuns just used themselves. The Moira, the Lucio, the Mei, with that aggression onto the team of NoWeaver, not allowing them to get set up. It just seems like 6ixGuns is adapting here, not copying that style. I said earlier, you can develop that style your own, but utilizing the same style as NoWeaver, and just it worked out very well for them.
Yeah, 6ixGuns setting us up for a very interesting map 4 here, as we obviously have a 2-1 scoreline now, and you know, if they can come back in with a big win on map 4, we'll be looking at a map 5 thriller here for these two teams. So for now, it'll be interesting to see if NoWeaver decide to go back to that Mei. We saw them kind of lean towards it at the end there, but not really sure why that just stopped in the middle of the map like that. Obviously, it was working so well for them, and we talked about it in the middle of the map as well. But yeah, just going off the Mei pretty much for no reason. And if they go back to it here on King's Row, it's probably going to pay off for them.
Yeah, NoWeaver opting into King's Row. Up 2 maps now, only needing 1 more. So they get this King's Row. I expect them to return to the Mei promptly. It worked so well for them on Rialto, on Li Jiang. I don't think they'll continue this, not experiment, but this change off of it. You saw them get punished without running it from the start of the second round of Volskaya. They got punished for it on both attack and defense, so I want to see the Mei here again. And I actually want to see the Mei from 6ixGuns again as well. It did really well for them
right
on the defense. They played the same exact style that NoWeaver was earlier, and it worked out extremely well for them. So I want to see 6ixGuns up to the Mei. I don't want them to see the snipers, the slower characters, especially when King's Row suits Mei so well.
Yeah, and even with the Mei pick there for 6ixGuns, I actually thought that it was more or less just the style change that they were in. I mean, obviously the Mei is going to help a lot with pushing in hard, but when NoWeaver didn't really have a counter Mei for a while anyways, it was just all about the aggression that 6ixGuns played with. I think that's what they need to keep, really. Even if they decide to lean away from that Mei, they need to take the initiative in some of these fights. Even on defense, you need to pound them. You need to take it to them. They have the momentum right now, and they need to roll with that.
Yeah, as you said, I don't want to see the slow style coming out from 6ixGuns. They can play it if they want, but I think it'll face some issues here. As you saw, the faster style worked so well for them, and I think tasting that, seeing that little hint of it, they should probably just go with it.
So we're seeing in chat right now that Don Tony, it is actually his birthday today, so 6ixGuns looking to get him voted for MVP. So if you're feeling generous out there and haven't placed your vote yet, maybe throw it over to him for his birthday after all. And either way, though, King's Row setting us up, like we said before, for a very interesting map 4 here as 6ixGuns looking to battle back.
Whereas earlier, I think it was like a tale of 2 styles. The tale of the slower style, tale of the fast style. I think this might be a tale of the same style on 2 sides. We could be seeing here a mirror comp. Not only a mirror comp, but mirror styles. You perhaps see the Zarya coming out here for the 6ixGuns. They did seem to prefer that. But Hisyu, not in, if I'm not mistaken. Owl 122001 coming in for Hisyu. And it should pay off for them. They're looking for the Orisa possibly, or the Zarya. Perhaps he's a better Zarya, but I don't know. The substitution seems odd to me.
Yeah, and maybe it has something to do with Zarya, like you said, or maybe All is who they go to when they want to run these Orisa Ryan comps. As that was something we saw him in for on Lijiang Tower. But either way, whichever strategy they decide to go with here, 6ixGuns needs to play to that aggression like we've been saying before, and NoWeaver, they obviously want to go back to that Mei, as we're not really sure why that ever stopped in the first place. So those are your two key points, really, the things either team needs to do here to make this one work.
Yes, play the Mei, and 6ixGuns play faster is what we should be trying to see here. I'm not sure why the substitution. Typically, you don't want to substitute out players that, you know, won you a map or did well on a map, but they're opting into it, and perhaps they have a set strategy for this map, like the Orisa, this Orion, as we saw earlier, or perhaps they play with Owl on this map, in particular in scrims. But we will be seeing 6ixGuns on the defense here, and NoWeaver on the attack.
Ready for battle.
You have to ask yourself, though, if maybe the substitution to play Orisa Ryan coming out here from 6ixGuns is a bit of a mistake considering what we've seen from Prodigy's Mei. I mean, if Prodigy's actually on the Widow right now, so we won't be seeing the Mei, and that actually might be the deal breaker here. It might be, that might be the difference, really.
I think the Orisa Ryan can work on defense here extremely well. It's slower, but it also allows you to get Mei walls. Like, if you pull Fire Strike, or if you can pull Mei wall. It's not as often used a combo, and it's not as consistent a combo, but it is a combo sometimes, on occasion. You may or may not see it, but the slower comp does work a lot better on defense. On offense, I don't want to see the Orisa Ryan as much. I think it doesn't play as fast.
Ooh,
that's a 6-man
set nade. Yeah, that's hitting all 6 there. So obviously not going to do much other than build a lot of ult here for Legola to get things started. But for now, it'll be a quick, aggressive fight here from NoWeaver, like we've seen from them all game, and 6ixGuns drawing a line in the sand and trying to stop them there, but the Mei wall drawing an even bigger line as the pin's going to come through as well. So NoWeaver finding the picks they need to push into this point, as Owl will actually be taking out Salvi here, so maybe a bit of a comeback scenario here for 6ixGuns. Owl actually finding 2, so if they can break this one back open, but no, Kaori going to be finding the pick on the Yamitra, so 6ixGuns probably going to be taking a high ground approach here to try and pin into this one. Actually, Al just full sending it, trying to get the picks they need to come back into this one. And Riri, he will be returning on the Zen, and the Nano Boost to come out as well. And you can thank the set nade for building that one up so quickly, as the line in the sand has been redrawn. The Orisa Ryan is back together, and NoWeaver having a tough time dealing with that. But Prodigy actually did go over the Mei in the meantime, but the Shatter coming through. Al knocking down a couple here, but response from NoWeaver. The fight's been going very back and forth so far, and picks coming through for NoWeaver. Another big nade. Legola looking to almost really build 2 nanos in this fight. They're already 50 to the next one. But either way, the cap from 6ixGuns, or I'm sorry, from NoWeaver will be coming through. Again,
this slower style coming back out here from 6ixGuns Symmetra with the Orisa Reinhardt, and it did almost come back into that point, the Symmetra teleporter allowing for the team to get back extremely quickly, but in the end, the faster style, as I say that, they're going fast!
Yeah, almost fast with that Mei wall, and the high unit come out as well. That's going to be picking out Stone Tony, so a bit of a slower comp with this Ryan Orisa, and they are taking advantage of it because we're on the side of NoWeaver.
Yeah, it's just NoWeaver again playing extremely fast, and 6ixGuns is not there to match that aggression like we saw earlier on Volskaya, where they were able to play that fast style. Maybe a misstep here, but they do have the bongo, do have the wall, do have the extremely strong ultimates, but Prodigy building a blizzard of his own and no diva to eat. The Orisa here for D'Antoni.
Yeah, 6ixGuns, they have to be careful with how they use their blizzard, as Vice is going to be on this diva here to potentially eat that one up, but for now the sim wall to come out early, and Cyclops to find a pick onto that sim in the meantime, so the bomb to come through as well, and that'll be breaking shields up here, but with the beat drop, they shouldn't have much to worry about. The blizzard coming out as well here, so they're going to be locking down, actually, another blizzard thrown on top of that, so everybody frozen up here. We got a freezer on King's Row B here, but either way, 6ixGuns going to be dropping that fight.
NoWeaver using 5 ultimates, 6ixGuns using 4. Savvy at the end there, getting his shatter canceled by the blizzard there. But you do see the defensive ult advantage going to NoWeaver on this third point. An aggressive beat can win in this next fight. There's nothing on the side of 6ixGuns to punish it, so you could be seeing Lodenzo going. Again, the staple style of going fast with that.
Yeah,
beat.
but with Maze, it might be better to save your beat for if these tanks get split off and chipped down here. But either way, you're going to be seeing both Mei walls come out early and no picks yet, except now that I say that, 2 coming through for 6ixGuns. So the nano boost allows them to just bully their way into this one, and they're going to be retaking the space that they rightfully deserve on the defensive side.
It's allowing 6ixGuns to build up more ultimates, almost to the high noon, almost to that beat of their own. And when the defensive ult, you don't have an advantage in it, you might just have to try to match the beat of 6ixGuns on the defense. But it could be difficult here. The high noon of Cyclops and KOA's Coalescence. KOA's Coalescence had a lot of value, but we do see, I would say again,
Coalescence coming out as well, and yeah, sleep on a Spice. So now that the fight's breaking out a little bit quicker here, NoWeaver might be at a bit of an edge. However, the Nano Boost, the Anti-Nade rather, but either way, the big Shatter coming through is, they're all going to get knocked over, but it doesn't matter. The follow-up wasn't there, and NoWeaver getting into this one, pulling her way back in, and the Anti-Nade to come out as well, and that's going to be catching a couple. These nades from Legola have been money, but despite that, NoWeaver taking this fight.
Spice is demeched though, so this retake could be extremely favorable. As I say that, Riri is just mowed down by Cyclops, but it could be extremely favorable for them with the D.Va demeched here.
Legola in a position to throw in a sleep dart, and yeah, they're gonna hit that one, and maybe even an Anti-Nade to follow. That could be massive, but Savvy trying to drop in the Shatter there. However, he got booped up in the air, and they were able to read that one, and then Nano Boost to come out as well into all, and Riri in the meantime finding the pick on the Spice. So 6ixGuns pushing back.
The Nano on behind you, but the beat is infested, and there is a Blizzard available for Prodigy. If we do see the Blizzard come out here, you might see Death try to mirror the Blizzard, trying to play more defensive Blizzard, denying space from NoWeaver, but yeah, no beat available for either team here, so both Blizzards can get a supreme amount of value.
Savvy far ahead, and the Maywall to come in because of that, but it doesn't matter because the Halt's actually going to get eaten up, so Death to get punished for such aggression, and you'd like to see the rest of 6ixGuns maybe go with that May, but either way, the fight's going to continue here as the Blizzard comes out, and it's a desperation time for 6ixGuns, and they're getting forced out with this Blizzard, but the Shatter to come through! Desperation might pay off here as the picks are going to come through here for 6ixGuns, but only two, and NoWeaver still being able to control this one here, but Death trying to throw in the Blizzard, he's going to get it canceled, however, Cyclops probably the clutchest play of this map so far, shutting down that Blizzard so that it can't get stalled out, and 6ixGuns gonna get capped on fully as NoWeaver taking 3 points with 2 minutes 37 to go.
Death making a sort of a mistake there, going so aggressive and getting with his own wall that he gets walled off from his own team on the May, and like I said earlier, there was no other defensive option there for 6ixGuns against that Blizzard besides the Blizzard of your own. If you don't have that defensive Blizzard to really zone off the attackers from capitalizing on the Blizzard, again, you just have a free Blizzard for Prodigy there, and he gets so much value, getting so many picks, and they just took the point.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to ask yourself if maybe the mistake is on the end of the team that didn't push up with their May, as Death obviously went in far ahead there. However, he probably should not have been alone, as he had a very nice wall there to split off Savvy. So yeah, there was really no opportunity there for 6ixGuns to follow up on that one because they were just so far back. And again, playing that slow game that we talked about, how they change that up, especially now that they're running the comps that we like to see. You need to see the gameplay style change as well. But either way, Prodigy sticking to this May like we've been talking about, and you see just how well it works for NoWeaver. That's the bread and butter.
6ixGuns deciding to run the Hanzo Symmetra again on attack on King here with the Orisa run. For that more slow style of what you criticized earlier. Looking probably for a rotation on the high ground, trying to take that high ground away from NoWeaver, away from that Cyclops, something that's so good for the McCree. Trying to just take that away with the teleporter, but we'll see how it plays out here, as it has seemed lackluster at points.
6ixGuns, it's do or die on this fight. If they want to take the series, they need to win this map, and obviously they're going to have a couple points to go and a couple rounds too if they want to be winning this one after a great attack from NoWeaver. But either way, the fight breaking out on point early as the Symmetra TP allowed them to get the positioning they need to set up. But a bit of a split here, and if you're a May comp, it's kind of hard to really like push in as you're going to be taking damage from either side. And 6ixGuns, this is a beautiful setup to get into this fight with, and Savvy pitting in with desperation, but it doesn't matter, he'll be going down. And yeah, NoWeaver forced back and picked off, and 6ixGuns doing a really good job of using the Symmetra teleporter to the best of their ability.
Yeah, taking that high ground and Spice going up there to challenge the Hanzo of Death, but just not expecting the Orisa to be there and the Honor to be there as well, focusing down that D.Va mech and chunking her out, neutralizing her in the fight, which is really devastating for the comp.
Another TP. Trying to set up in a different spot here, and yeah, they're just really looking to play these cross angles and force NoWeaver into positions that are unfavorable for them. However, the rotation through the building will be coming through to try and shut this one down. Dotoni in a pretty bad spot, and Anti need to follow up on a pool, so the combo that they might be looking for with these flanks was hit there. However, there was just too much damage, and I think this is how NoWeaver needs to play it. They need to pick a group of people and go right into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I didn't hate it, but then I saw the counter that NoWeaver has seen to this composition so many times is just play aggressive. Go fast onto, if you're gonna split off into 2 groups of 3, go on 1 group of 3. Take a 6v3. 6v3 is so much better than a 3v3 versus 3 versus 3 or anything of that sort. Just go for the 6v3, and they decide to do so.
Either way, though, ultimate advantage still swings in the way of 6ixGuns. You're going to be seeing a dragon and a wall come out early, so both DPS ults popped, and so the coalescence is going to be used in response. And another possibly debate teleporter coming out there is they're not going to be taking that one, but just taking the space, as the wall pretty much becomes non-effective as they push past it. But either way, the shatter dropped in, not catching anyone though, and a wall to follow up on that one. So the tanks from 6ixGuns might be in a bad spot, but it doesn't matter because the anti-nade on a NoWeaver, beautiful work by Legola getting yet another anti-nade in there. They've been money all game, but the bomb to come through as well. A nice beat though to sustain as 6ixGuns able to stay alive here and finish off this fight. And what could have been a fight-turning bomb there was shut down. Beautiful beat by Yamitra.
An ultimate, just a massive amount of ultimates used. The bomb, the shatter from Savvy, the Cyclops swapping off to the McCree here. But you did see a lot of ults being used on both sides to try and take that fight, but to no avail. But we'll be seeing the early contest here. They just go past the Hanzo.
Yeah, and again, these cross angles set up though with the Orisa on the other high ground, and it allows Death and Legola to unload damage, but it doesn't matter because NoWeaver able to push into the other 3 members like we talked about, and this has put 6ixGuns in a very tough spot here as they have a long ways to go now to get back to this card.
Again, just walk past the Hanzo. The Hanzo can't stop you from going to the other team members, so just go past them. We do see that strategy coming out from NoWeaver, but we do see the dragons here available for Death, and the halt available from Dantoni can get a lot of value here and really try and take out these backline characters with that halt dragon.
Changing up their strategy for sure, not trying to split anymore, trying to play together and win outright. But either way, NoWeaver now has the positional advantage of being on the defensive side, holding so far away from the attacking spawn. But it doesn't matter maybe because Spice is going to get demeched here, so a good advantage, and the dragon to come through as well, which is going to be forcing NoWeaver even further back. So 6ixGuns using a couple ults here, but they will be taking the space back that they have been fighting for all along, and Death and Riri finding picks as well. So 6ixGuns probably going to be cleaning up this fight and taking point. A shatter to come through though, that's actually going to be knocking 2 down, so Prodigy in the backside could get a couple picks here, and he will, but is it enough to get back onto this point? I don't think so, as it's just the May, but Prodigy finding 3, and if they can get a touch here, but no, Death taking out Prodigy, and there just was no one there, but it doesn't matter because Prodigy has been able to farm a Blizzard thanks to these beautiful picks that they were able to get on that last fight, but yeah.
The Hanzo ultimate from Death buying so much space for the composition and for the team that it really just, and then split the team up. Death finding another pick.
Yeah, another one for Death there. The fight breaking out early as well as the aggression from NoWeaver coming back. They're not afraid to back down despite taking a pick early in the fight and going down, but Riri popping the high noon to stop this aggression, so the Blizzard essentially wasted, and actually 2 picks coming out with this high noon, and the dragon to follow up on that one. So 6ixGuns really pushing through here, and they might be looking at a potential 3-minute cap. I mean, not much distance to go left on this card. They're probably gonna have one more fight, and NoWeaver is gonna have the B drop to stall this one out. Most likely a bomb too if Spice can build that one, but they do have the nano boost, the B drop of their own, and a shatter, as well as a bongo coming out here. So 6ixGuns in a good position to take this one.
Yeah, and we've seen the nano coming out early, the shadow coming out. Vito from Lodenzo.
Oh, getting frozen up a little bit, but the nano allowing him to pin to the backline safely and get the pick on the Lorenzo, and a high noon to come out as well. So Riri taking out the Baby Diva, and the picks all around just coming through for 6ixGuns here as they clean this one up and get a cap.
Yeah, it does seem they will be taking the point there. And initial criticisms of that slower compositional style, well, shown at times that you saw them just speed past the Hanzo. It did seem that when the Hanzo ultimate was available, they did see them get a lot of value out of it, making so much space for the team and really just suiting their style of play. So it was successful for 6ixGuns, that slower style there is Reinhardt. We're probably seeing that again on the defense. On the attack here, they do have 5 seconds less. They will be attacking first, if my memory serves me correctly.
It does. It'll be 6ixGuns on the attack here.
Yes, 6ixGuns on the attack here, opting in probably for that more. The sim coming back out again, trying to. It worked well the first time. It did deny the little high ground from Cyclops, but I just would like to see Spice here not opt in for the 1v3. Last time on this point, he flew up onto the Hanzo and got pressured down by an Orisa and Ana that were also hiding near that Hanzo. So perhaps a adaptation coming out from Spice here to focus more on moving as a team into one of those groups of 3, as we saw later in the round.
Yeah, and 6ixGuns looking to do that maybe group of 3 strategy again here as you're seeing the Symmetra come back out once again. So Death, Don't Oni, and Riri probably going to be flanking here, and maybe even Legola as well to throw in the anti-nades that we've been seeing all around, just been money. But for now, it'll just be all 6 together, obviously, as we have no time to set up a teleporter quite yet. But it'll be interesting to see if they actually decide to go for that split play again, and it seems like NoWeaver's in a spot to deal with that, maybe with their McCree positioned on high ground.
I want NoWeaver to go aggressive soon. No, they all six take?
Yeah, all 6 take it, and you're actually going to be seeing the Reinhardt go back into main with the Lucio, so splitting up once again, yeah, taking those cross angles, and it's been working very well as Spice now in a really bad spot, going to get damaged up a little bit, and the Mei also in a pretty tough spot as well. These turrets doing so much work here on the side of 6ixGuns, but Spice will be taking down Riri, so the turrets won't be around much longer here. All they have to do is break them, no sim to replace them, but in the meantime, Spice finding 2 picks and Death to get the DMAC onto him for his trouble, and 6ixGuns, they are positioned on the point, so it's up to NoWeaver to push back into it, and it could be the positional advantage with the Orisa that wins this one outright as Legola finding a pick on the Lord Denza, but Savvy taking him out as well, so Death on another level here as he gets the pick on the Spice, and the Colossus to come out as well, so really NoWeaver is breaking this one back open, but they have to stay on the point here as 6ixGuns almost taking this one. But NoWeaver, the picks are coming through, the Dragon as well, so a nice 2-pick fight here for 6ixGuns, and they might actually be able to clean this one up. Yeah, they will. So the picks came through late for 6ixGuns, and the cap came through late as well, and that could be huge here. NoWeaver's only going to have 2 minutes to match, which 6ixGuns does on the attack here in Death, finding so many picks in this fight as well.
The aggression coming out from NoWeaver onto the group of 3, as we said it earlier, well, honestly, I think they made the correct decision, but executed a little bit poorly with the Mei, the first one going out, and getting beamed down by the Symmetra turrets that were stationed outside the hotel, and then forced to cryo as the Ryan had to charge in, counterpinned and killed, and the fight just spouted out of control from there. But the wall available here for Riri, and the nano available to go down on Reinhardt of 6ixGuns. The beat as well. A beat could just seal this fight. There is no beat from Lodenzo to counter.
I do not like the positioning here either from 6ixGuns. They're making themselves very far away to help out the rest of their team as NoWeaver decides to go aggressive onto that. But the anti-nade to come out as well and a shatter, so all going to be knocking down a couple here, and the Mei cooldowns are forced out very early here on the side. And so Prodigy not able to build that Blizzard and use it on part, which was going to be the win condition probably in that fight. And so 6ixGuns will be cleaning up, and despite losing a couple members, they should be able to taxi them back and get a full fight here on the late side of point B.
And I don't think we can see enough places for Legola finding another 3, forcing cryo from Mei and basically killing the Lucio. Very strong entry from there, but Prodigy coming back in with that Blizzard, Savvy with the Shatter, no Symmetra wall here that just basically denies the Shatter from ever happening, and also the D.Va ult can come out to try and buy space.
The bomb going to come out as well, and Spice just trying to desperation touch the point here, but the Dragon to come out, and the D.Va bomb dropped in, and that might kind of find a couple. It will. Don't Tony going down as well as his bomb goes, so 6ixGuns in a tough spot here, not being able to stay on the cart potentially as NoWeaver cleans this one up, and despite what was a very nice push from 6ixGuns, it ends here.
Yeah, some very strong, just space clearing ultimates, the Blizzard, the bomb from NoWeaver there, just allowing them to just take so much space on the cart and just pushing everyone off and killing the Reinhardt in that Blizzard. Very good recontest there, using the ultimates when they needed to. But now it's their turn to attack.
Prodigy died at 98% in the midway of B with that Blizzard, and you have to ask yourself if maybe being able to build that would have been able to allow NoWeaver to throw that on point and, you know, maybe stall things out a little bit, slow the game down and win. Despite being down a couple members, Blizzard is that much of a game changer where if you're in a spot where the team has to stay, you're obviously going to get at least 1 or 2 picks off of it. But for now, NoWeaver looking to match what 6ixGuns was able to do, and Riri going to decide to stay with this Mei as you want to build the Blizzard to do exactly what I just talked about, control the space on cars. It's such a small area that NoWeaver's going to be forced to play on if they get the cap.
Yep, and we will be seeing the classic NoWeaver comp sorry about that, composition with the Moira, with the Lucio, and the McCree, and the Mei with that on D.Va. Something they've been running basically the entire match besides that one stint on Volskaya, but we will be seeing them go back to the classic roots, what we wanted to see in the beginning of this map and what we've seen from them. They had a strong attack as well, we can't discount that. Their attack was just as strong as 6ixGuns, so they can easily match this.
Yeah, 6ixGuns, they must hold strong if they're looking to take us to 5 maps here, as the halt coming out early, and actually that's going to be forcing out a couple cooldowns. The DM and the Ice Block forced out early, so if you're NoWeaver, you might have to wait this one out before you go in, and 6ixGuns drawing that line in the sand with this Rhino Orisa comp, and we said it so many times, but that's what it does best. It can control an area and make it hard to push in, and when you're running with Riri on Mei as well, you're going to be able to shut down these pushes, but either way, NoWeaver getting very aggressive, very fast, and Spice probably about to lose a mech because of that, as he goes very low. A nice anti-nade in response to Michael as well, so, but the pick from Death coming through on a Prodigy, so no Mei to push into this one. NoWeaver may as well just be saying sayonara, as 6ixGuns, when you have a Mei the way they do, exactly, you're going to be seeing the split come off and just take out Savvy, so NoWeaver forced to back out here.
Yeah, the BAP really paying dividends at the lamp. Not taken out. Its entire life duration was not destroyed, allowing the Reinhardt to just live with such little health.
Yeah, and for now, NoWeaver getting back into this one quickly. The Coalescence as well, cut off for a little bit because of the Mei wall, but it wasn't fast enough for them to be able to get a pick off of it. But in the meantime, we'll be finding a pick on the Lorenzo, and a couple picks coming through for 6ixGuns. But they already did use that Coalescence and get another pick as well as a follow-up. So 6ixGuns, they are coming out on top in this fight, but a nice couple more picks coming through.
Yeah, what we started saying as could be just as easy, just as strong a push coming out from NoWeaver seems to be faltering here. With only the High Noon available for this next fight, immediately Prodigy have to build up that Blizzard in time, but the Bongo, the Blizzard, the Shatter available for 6ixGuns here, it'll be an incredibly difficult push.
Yeah, and Prodigy and Riri both very close to this Blizzard, and for a final fight, it's all about how these Blizzards get used. Obviously, it controls an area, so Death, though, finding a pick that might be sending us to map 5, taking down Kaori, and without the Moira and that much healing, you're going to be in a very tough spot here for NoWeaver trying to push in with the High Noon to come out in response, and you love to see the aggression from 6ixGuns. We've talked about it all series. This is what they needed to do, and the Blizzard will come out as well, but Tony is cleaning house on this Orisa, and there just might not be enough time for NoWeaver to get into this one, as Tony is still finding picks on this Orisa. The D-Mac to come through, and Spice probably losing his life here, yeah, and the Diva Bomb not finding anyone either. His Death finds 2 picks on this Hanzo with the Dragon, and a Baptiste coming out as well, so the cleanup for 6ixGuns, they're going to be probably locking it down here and sending us to map 5.
I will say my criticism of the slower style did seem to work very well on this first point defense for 6ixGuns here on King's Row. Does really afford itself. The Orisa Ryan is much harder to dislodge immediately, and you kind of saw that there where the front line was much more stable from 6ixGuns than of NoWeaver, but well played there for what we said was a style. At the end, they're going aggressive when they had to, because that would deny the ultimates used there from NoWeaver, but strong defense there coming out from 6ixGuns and forcing a map 5, 2-2 now.
Right, and I think what you have to credit there for 6ixGuns being able to play slow and get away with it so much was the Riri Mei came out, and I think being able to deny walls from the other side by throwing up your own walls allowed for 6ixGuns to really lock it down, and so that's what is really important going into this next series, is if they decide to, keep that Mei and maybe keep the same strategy as King of the Hill. It's a game where you're controlling the same space, and we're not sure which map pick we'll be seeing here coming out for our final 5th and final map, our bonus map, one might say, as we have a 2-2 game. So an exciting game ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Oasis will be on map here. But in the meantime, as we transition over to that map, we'll have some things to shout out here. First and foremost, please, Twitter @_revolutionow. Please, if you want to get updates on the community and all those happenings, please go to Twitter @_revolutionow. Also, our Discord, which is discord.revolutionesports.games/ or !Discord in the chat, if you will. Those things will send you to our Discord, give you a link to our Discord, our amazing community that we're looking to improve on every single day. We'll give you match announcements, we'll give you season announcements, and all those other things, useful things for your community pleasure.
Yeah, like you said. Yeah, Oasis, our final map here. So the potential for Pharah has once again returned, as we've seen that come out from mainly the side of 6ixGuns here. We saw Death on the Pharah over on Lijiang, but either way, maybe not so much of a Mei focused map here as Gardens, is if you can take advantage of the high ground, it might be very hard for the Mei to come out here. And you'll actually be seeing a Pharah mirror potentially. And that is something that I have been looking forward to all series from the two teams. So happy to see it maybe go down here on Oasis. But either way, no mercy yet on the side of 6ixGuns. So maybe Dimitri is going to that last minute, or it actually might be Legolas speeding them out of spawn to then swap over the mercy. So you could have a positional advantage here. But the one difference I want to highlight is Don't Only on the Rhine and Savvy on the Monkey.
Yeah, we will be seeing the fair mirror that we stated earlier in the map that we would want to see. The dueling mechanics coming out from both fairs here. Always fun to see such a skilled matchup as Death and Prodigy will face it off in the sky. But the D.Va on point, being forced out early.
Yeah, the tanks from 6ixGuns doing a bit of a better job at staying together here, as there was like two separate dives coming in from NoWeaver. And yeah, Hysuya able to get a pick on the D.Va because of that fact. But in the meantime, Prodigy winning the Pharah duel there, but Riri will be finding a pick on the Kaori. So it seems like 6ixGuns has this fight under control, taking out the D.Va as well as the Moira, two of the most important heroes of this comp, as the Pharah Mercy isn't going to be able to push in and contest a cart, or point rather.
Again, Spice seemingly overcommitting to that to the dive there by himself and getting focused down by the opposing D.Va in Hysuya. But we were seeing the Pharah dueling here, but no ults available for either side yet.
The Pharah duel, a couple rockets being traded here as well. Death and Prodigy going at it, and Hysuya trying to help out a little bit as the Prodigy will be going down. So Death winning that duel and trying to get on the Mercy right away as well. But in the meantime, the tank fight breaking out up top here is Don't Only on this Reinhardt a bit slower, but it seems to be paying off as the dive isn't as effective when you can just swing the hammer around and do damage to both of them. But Death in the meantime has free reign now that his enemy Pharah is down, and obviously Cyclops and the Tracer means there isn't as much damage to go out onto this Pharah. So Death has been able to just unload damage, and he's been winning the Pharah duel so far.
Yeah, after that Pharah duel is won there by Death, it becomes so much harder. The D.Va preoccupied dive is not able to get in that Pharah's face, and now 6ixGuns with 6 ultimates available.
Yeah, 6ixGuns, one might argue here.
6ixGuns, 6 ultimates, but the Coalescence and Pulse Bomb with the Valkyrie to follow available. Kaori probably gonna use that Coalescence to either supplement a dive or just focus on that Pharah.
Yeah, and 6ixGuns having these ultimates and not afraid to use them. This is the aggression we've been wanting to see. The Shatter going out as well, and that's totally worth it to get that pick, as Hysuya, in the meantime, going to be taking down Savvy, but actually the Prodigy Boop taking 2, but Riri says I can take 2 as well with that high noon. So 6ixGuns gonna be staying in control here.
Yeah, we do in fact see the Reinhardt going super aggressive there and shattering the Coalescence out of its usage, and now only the Pharah Mercy have ults here. The tank's still extremely slow to build ults.
Yeah, but Hysuya could throw out a bomb here to close things off by taking out the Pharah Mercy. There's really, you're gonna have a hard time coming back from that if that bomb hits them both. So it may be a good opportunity to just throw that one up and try and find those picks. The Barrage's gonna get dropped in early, so Prodigy not waiting on that one at all, and Death is gonna be taking him down, but it might not matter as Riri and Dimitri are going down here. So 6ixGuns has a chance to be dropping the point maybe, but the Barrage to come in response, Death dropping that one in and finding a pick on the Cyclops, and yeah, the tanks and supports doing a very good job of cleaning this one up here. So 6ixGuns staying in control all map and taking a very clean first round of Oasis Garden.
Yeah, it seemed like the tanks had a lot of discipline there with their backline, where it wasn't so much that they were we do seem to be having a pause here.
Bit of a pause coming through.
Bit of a pause, but to comment on that more, it just seemed that the backline and the tank line from 6ixGuns wasn't so much focused on trying to do a lot of anything, more so just surviving a dive over and over and just giving Death the space to succeed, as we saw him do, winning his duel against his opponent in Prodigy and getting the value that Death needed on this map. Exactly what you want from a Pharah Mercy, playing a more defensive style. The rest of the team is try and supplement that Pharah.
Yeah, and a lot on the line here going into the second map. Obviously, 6ixGuns getting off to an early lead, which is not something we saw in Lijiang. We saw NoWeaver dominant 2-0 on Lijiang. So maybe the counter 2-0 is finally going to come through here. If 6ixGuns can take this map, they're going to be in a good spot.
Another map where you can play Pharah, and I think Death is going to be very happy with it.
However, yeah, and you're already seeing it now. I think this is the map that NoWeaver has to take, as they have the Mei, and this is Mei's best map, probably of Oasis. And I mean, yeah,
of Oasis, this would be Mei's best map. City Center, not really a Mei map either.
Yeah.
Although it can be if you try to focus on the middle or the right side by the Mega. But it typically isn't. City Center isn't. But we do see the Mei coming out here. But the Pharah and Symmetra coming out.
To actually get them the point a bit quicker, and Death going to be sticking on the Spara. So if this comp wants to play together with the Mei, there might be a very good opportunity to spam them out a little bit. So if NoWeaver can play quickly like they have been, they're going to be doing a great job here. But Spice trying to get in early, and yeah, the Immortality field forced out, and actually the counter Rhine charge coming in as well. So Savvy going aggressive there and going to get a pick for his efforts. But the res maybe coming through. No, going to get canceled. But Death, in the meantime, taking down Spice in that baby deep storm. But it should not matter as NoWeaver cleaning things up on the point, and they're going to be getting first control here.
Yeah, again, 6ixGuns facing the problem of the Mei character, the character that is focusing down and shutting down their front line from existing. Not something you really want to be seeing with D'Antoni trying to play more passive, trying to survive as long as possible for his Pharah to get the space it needs. But taking point early is just unfortunately cut short by the Mei wall. KOA with that Coalescence here can focus down the Pharmacy if she so desires. As we see Riri swap over to the Mei of their own to get some counter walls going.
Yeah, and a couple ults online here on the side of NoWeaver because of their first control advantage, obviously. But still worth mentioning that Death is closing in on that barrage, and they're actually going to be closing in on the point here after that pick, as they're going to be looking to move in. And the Coalescence come out as well. Bit of desperation here, trying to keep things going, but the barrage going to get dropped in early. A big Shatter coming out, though. That's going to be knocking over a couple, and Cyclops to follow with the high noon, the 3K to come out. So it's just going to be Death on the point here, trying to pick off Cyclops, but he's going to get taken down. So very, very dominant fight there on the side of NoWeaver, and Death trying to turn things around, but not quite.
Despite Prodigy just falling over in the beginning of that fight, just kind of dying there, you do see the barrage of Death canceled by a Shatter of all things. Nothing you considered canceling Pharah barrages, but it did. As we see Prodigy almost to that Mei ult with Riri a little bit behind him as he swapped onto it later.
Yeah, NoWeaver in complete control, and they're going to have the Blizzard to show for it. So if they can go aggressive and use it, then they're going to be able to obviously take this fight by storm. And you might want to do it now before Hisuiya builds this grab and gets it off. Obviously 97% and counting, so the ultimates are going to be coming out here from 6ixGuns first, and the aggression that we like to see being shown now, though, as the Shatter is going to get dropped to try and save Don't Only, but it shouldn't matter, as once the Immortality field gets broken, he's going to be in the tough spot. The Shatter to follow. NoWeaver cleaning house here, 93%, and NoWeaver should be taking the second map, sending us to City Center, and a epic conclusion of all things.
As you said, light touch from his but shouldn't do much.
Yeah, Hisuiya on point here, and the ball to follow as well, so it's all about just shutting this down. But with the Mei, you can really freeze up any potential stall here, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. That's a weird spot to be grappling there, keeping himself going a little bit, but the bomb getting dropped in, that's going to be picking off Legola, and NoWeaver sending us to round 3 with a dominant 100-0 here on the University point.
As you said, what you want to be seeing from NoWeaver there is taking the map where Mei is better, where the Mei is best. We could also be seeing the Mei here. You can play the inside, the middle of this point with the Mei and kind of just survive in there for the longest time, but we may see them off into a more divey style, like we saw on Gardens. But as we see that didn't work out so well for them, I think they may stick to the Mei. But as I say that, the swap over to the Monkey from Savvy with 6ixGuns showing off a dive. No, D'Antoni not on the Rhine.
This fast comp from either side going to give us a very interesting round 3, but you have to watch out as this Pharah Mercy. You need to shut down this soldier. If he builds attack visor, you're going to be in a very tough spot, but either way, dive getting set to get going here.
The legs have been locked. Soldier looking to take Pharah out from the sky, taking high ground early. The entire team to look to deny Pharah any amount of room to live. Riri getting bursted down early, forced away.
NoWeaver split up a little bit, and that's what the Pharah does so well with that concussive blast, is splitting up the tanks a little bit to make it hard to coordinate a dive, and so many rockets coming through here for Death. If you're NoWeaver, you have to do something about this Pharah, and you have to do it soon, as the dive coming in very clean here, but good peel and a bubble drops here for Savvy. So yeah, it's going to be a tough fight here to win out for 6ixGuns, as the counter dives come through for NoWeaver was very strong, and you're going to see 2 picks because of it, both Pharah and Mercy going down. But as I say that, Yamitra actually picking off Cyclops here, and a couple picks coming through, but no, not quite. 6ixGuns going to be dropping that fight, as NoWeaver, the counter dive was just too strong.
Yeah, you do in fact see there Cyclops jumping off the high ground to take out Death. Soldier the legs, not the hardest Pharah counter in the game, but certainly can be one of them if supplemented correctly, and we do see that. But Prodigy building up that pulse bomb, may even try to look to take the Pharah Mercy out of the air with that jump pad, although rare, would be pretty awesome. That would be pretty awesome.
Speaking of Tracers, Riri on a bit of a flank here, trying to just poke damage into these tanks, and really the members of NoWeaver kind of all over the place right now, trying to deal with 6ixGuns, who are for the most part, sticking to one side of the point, but Death actually going to get in very aggressive here. He's in a pretty aggressive spot, and that might be easy for Cyclops to pick off if he can just get some distance, but Death did a really nice job of closing that gap and getting the pick there, so 6ixGuns is going to be going up 3 in this fight, but in the meantime, Kai Suya losing their mech to the next fight, so that might be something to keep your eye on.
This is where the pressure increases for NoWeaver, as they took that fight with very little ultimate usage. And now they have the bars available, they have the mines available, they have the bomb available for Tracer, they have the defensive ult available in Yamitra. It's going to be incredibly difficult as well for this soldier to try and take high ground again. Pharah is not going to let him take high ground so easily. He's going to get pressured down and forced down. You have to try and use the D.Va to push the Pharah out of position and let the soldier set up.
In my opinion, the winner of this fight is most likely going to take this map just because there's so many ultimates online right now, and I just think it's all about how this tac visor gets used here. If you can shut down the Pharah Mercy with that, and you're already seeing Valk go out, so the escape option for Mercy almost getting taken away here, but Riri in the meantime going to be taking down Kaori, and that's huge. No coalescence here, so it's really going to be up to the tac visor if NoWeaver wants to win this fight, but they are going to have the bomb and beat drop available as well, but the barrage getting dropped in there by Death. He's going to try and get the picks there, but no, the beat drop coming in response, and Spice going to find that pick, so NoWeaver able to sustain, and attack visor is online, but you might want to save that for when the FAR is back online as well. But Riri, in the meantime, taking down Savvy. The attack visor going to get used in the ball, getting in there, going deep, but it doesn't matter because Cyclops finding 2, but Don't Tony going to be getting a mine pick, but it seems like the picks are coming through for NoWeaver. They're looking to flip this, and if 6ixGuns can do a good job of stalling this one out, then they might be able to come back into this fight as Death is on his way back now, but with no mercy, he's going to be taken down pretty quickly there. Spice shutting that one down instantly. Good D.Va play there, but either way, Point still being stalled out here by 6ixGuns, still managing to stay on. Riri doing a good job here in the ball, getting back in the mix as well. And you're actually going to be seeing all the members of 6ixGuns pretty much getting back onto the point, other than Don't Only and the Pharah who's dead. But it doesn't matter because NoWeaver finding pick after pick, cleaning this one up. All they have to do is get all 6 members of 6ixGuns off the point for maybe another half a second, and they'll have the cap. But it doesn't matter because Death is back on point. But NoWeaver will be getting the cap in an 87% situation.
Yeah, like I said, as I said earlier, Cyclops would have trouble getting that high ground, but you did see Savvy there with the Primal Ridge just push the Pharah so out of position that they just let the entire team take high ground. And as that fight was extremely long, so a lot of moving parts to it, but one of the main parts was their ability to take high ground early in that fight.
Yeah, and now you're going to see what is looking to be maybe either the second to last or final fight. So boiling down to the late game stages here, as 6ixGuns did a very nice job of stalling out the point to get themselves to 87, but it doesn't matter because Prodigy finding the pulse bomb kill into Legolas, and if NoWeaver can take this fight, they probably have a map win on their hands as Cyclops finding a pick on a Riri. NoWeaver cleaning this one up and looking to deny the reverse sweep that 6ixGuns has set themselves up for. The coalescence coming out as well, and so many ultimates being popped here. It's go time for NoWeaver. They have the picks that they need to clean this one up. 90% and counting. 6ixGuns desperation. They need to get back into this one, and Don't Tony, he's going to have the minds to do just that. We are looking at a final fight situation here, and it's boiling down to it as Don't Tony gets onto the point on this ball. Riri getting in as well, so there will be a fight here. The fights are being popped. Cyclops trying to shut this one down. He will be getting the pick on the Riri, and Yamitra might be in a tough spot as well. Obviously, a Squishy trying to deal with that tac visor. The Pharah Mercy trying to get onto this one. Death and Legolas looking to deal with this soldier, but it might not matter as NoWeaver finding the picks they need to clean this one up. Death, he might be going down as Legolas very low on health, with the Valkyrie getting popped. He might be able to stay alive, and Death finding the bronze they need. Riri getting 2 picks as well. If 6ixGuns can flip this, it would be an absolute miracle, but Cyclops shutting down Death, and the ball coming in as well. There's just so many members for either team still in this fight. It's tough to say who will come out on this one, but Legolas with the Valkyrie ending, that might be a big deal here. If Riri might be able to finish off on that tracer damage that came through, but either way, Riri finding the pick on a Spice, and 6ixGuns, they might be actually flipping this one, and Riri finding yet another pick. The MVP of this fight for sure, and the flip coming through. 87%.
Riri on that tracer performing some absolute heroics, picking so many people there. As it seemed lost, all for 6ixGuns. The reverse sweep seemed doomed, but it's Savvy going down late.
Riri doing such a good job taking out Savvy as well here, and it's looking to be an advantage for 6ixGuns, but it doesn't matter because the beat drop's gonna come through. Riri, yet another Kaori going down, and this ball trying to stall things out, and Spice will be finding the pick on a Death, but as long as Riri's alive, they might be in a tough spot. The bomb coming through, and Yamitra finding a pick on the Cyclops, and Riri's Tracer finding yet another pick. 3 in this fight, trying to make it 4. The pulse bomb! Riri popping off. Savvy going down as well.
My God,
6ixGuns will be taking the series off the back of some spectacular Tracer play.
I don't think we've said Riri's name that many times in the entire match, let alone the final 2 fights.
I don't think in the entire tournament.
We've said Weevy's name so many times that last 2 fights he absolutely popped off. He seemed so quiet earlier in the match. We didn't say his name that much. He did have some picks earlier.
Consistent play from Weewy.
He did have some Symmetra stuff going on, but nothing as explosive as those Tracer play. Oh my! I was gonna say NoWeaver shaving off the reverse sweep, but in fact 6ixGuns gets the reverse sweep. And again, if there were, as we said earlier, you should wait to vote for MVP because you don't know how a series is gonna go. 6ixGuns reverse sweeping NoWeaver.
Yeah,
not something we expected.
Complete, and you couldn't ask for a closer match. 99-99 last fight of Oasis, and 6ixGuns manages to complete the reverse sweep that they thought they'd be denied for a second, as Riri really turned it around at the end and finding pick after pick. I have never said someone's name so much in my entire life, and I don't regret one bit of it.
Yes. Again, I said vote for your MVP. We'll be pulling them in here for a small interview with them, but in the meantime, as we are getting our MVP results, if you would also like to check out the Patreon, !Patreon in the chat, you all proceeds to the Patreon if you would like to support us, this community, all the proceeds from Patreon and from Twitch subs and all that kind of stuff, it goes directly 100% back in the community, into prize pools, into stuff just to better everything for the players, for the teams, and for the community as a whole, and we would desperately appreciate it. In that same vein, we are affiliated with Rogue Energy, and we do have a Rogue Energy discount code for you, TORB10. Again, TORB10, TORB10. The affiliate link is down below in the channel, or it is !Rogue. Again, everything goes to the community, to prize pools. Everything is for improvement, as that is what our community is based around.
Yeah, but either way, I think the community just enjoyed themselves there, as that was one of the closest matches we've seen in this tournament so far. Just a beautiful game. And obviously, I think you guys know who worst in my personal MVP is, at least for Oasis. But obviously, that is up to your discretion there, as you can really do whatever you got to do.
I think those last 2 maps may be blinding us. There was more maps in Death perform absolutely well on so many maps, so you cannot discount him out. Prodigy also did extremely well himself. So as much as I want to say Riri, maybe we are being blinded a little bit by recency bias, as there was many more maps. But again, I would not be mad if Riri were to win MVP, because
I definitely want to talk to him.
I definitely want to talk to him.
He'll either be getting a DM from me after the match, or he'll be getting on the interview. So that's obviously up to the chat to decide on that one. So definitely place your votes for who you thought was your personal best MVP. Don't let me and Worse's maybe a tiny bit bias affect your decisions there, as we obviously are very excited off of what we just saw happen. So
yeah, and it does seem to be that chat should still be deciding. It does look like currently in chat, Kaori is in the lead with 38%, but still some little bit of time for that to go. Again, if you would like to check out our Twitter @_revolutionow or !Discord in the chat if you want to join our Discord. 2 avenues of interacting with the community and being updated on the community, with Twitter giving updates and also Discord having updates as well. Getting involved with Revolution. We would always love to see your faces, as it helps us improve, and it would help everything in the community improve, and that's all we want to see is improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, thank you for those that have actually made it to the end of the match, for sticking around for so long. Obviously, we did manage to see some good reverse sweep Overwatch. So those that might have left after they saw NoWeaver go up 2 definitely missed out on what was the best match I've ever casted personally. I don't know about you, Worst. That came down to the wire.
It was a very, very, very hectic end to the map. It just was. I didn't know who was gonna win. Personally, I didn't know who was gonna come out. I thought NoWeaver had it for sure, and then Death and Riri come back and perform their little hocus pocus magic, and they pull the map win out of their
it seems
pockets.
Like Kaori is going to be the MVP. I am going to pull him up now.
So our match MVP will be Kaori, and I believe Kaori was on NoWeaver. We obviously have people coming out of the lobby now, so it's hard to tell who was on what team. But yeah, Kaori from NoWeaver going to be here for our match interview. So congratulations on your MVP win, Kaori.
Thank you. It's a hard fought loss for us, unfortunately, but we learned a lot, and I think it'll be better in the future for sure.
So worse, if you have any questions, go for it.
I don't think you can be too mad at yourselves for that defeat. You did see kind of an anomaly at the end, but regarding that, you did see a lot of good play coming out from NoWeaver there. There was a lot of good decisions made, and the first two maps went your way a lot of on the fact of the aggression. Do you feel that the aggression was a big part of those two map wins?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's not much else we could do into a comp that relied on mid-fight victories. So like we had to take our aggression like early on in the fights. Although towards the end of the series we lost our focus and split a bit more. So that's why we didn't take our aggression as hard as we should have.
So I have to ask, and this is one thing that I've been really keeping in the back of my mind ever since Volskaya Industries. We saw towards the middle of the match, you guys just decided to stop going to the May, and I was just wondering what the mindset behind that was. We saw a swap to like Torb, and I just wasn't quite sure why we swapped off the May there, as it seemed like that was your guys' bread and butter for the first two maps.
Uh, Personally, I don't know. I don't know if there was like a single call during it, or we just decided to like try something different, even though it was working for us. It's not like the end of the world. We know what mistakes we made, and we'll be able to review them as like we go over the VODs for this, and we can see what worked and what didn't, and why it didn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, obviously, learning from VODs and going next is the only way to come back from losses like this as a team.
I
So
mean, yeah, you can't
definitely,
be tilted off of this.
no,
Like you
for
just
sure.
take it as a learning experience.
And I mean, you guys couldn't have lost in a closer situation. I mean, 99-99. So really, it could have gone either way. And it really just came down to heroics. So definitely a well played match for
Yeah.
you guys. You look like the disciplined team. And obviously, we saw so many strategies being thrown at you, and you guys were able to adapt to pretty much each and every one of them.
Yeah, I think we just lost our focus towards the end of the series. I think that's why we ended up like slowing up and like splitting. I think that's why. But other than that, I think overall it was a very good series and good practice for OD tomorrow.
Yeah, it's definitely good practice for D. Use the same bands, obviously, but also I think, as you said, a very well fought match, but also a very fun match to watch and a great match to cast. Especially, I don't think I've casted a better match. Thank you so much for just providing such a good match.
Yeah, me as well. Thank you for being half of such a close game. I mean, really, without NoWeaver's spectacular play, especially on those first two maps, we wouldn't have gotten to where we ended up getting. So
Yeah, I have to thank my teammates though for like putting in as much hard work as they do, and putting up with the random stuff I do in scrims. But like, you know, um, it was fun. I'm honestly not gonna lie, it was a fun game.
yeah, so much different stuff being seen. Definitely a good time. But unless Worst has any other questions, I believe that's all we have time for. Worst.
No, I think that'll be all the questions for me. But again, congratulations on MVP, and hopefully you guys can bounce back, improve from this, because I know there is some stuff to improve on as always. But very, very well fought match from you.
Oh yeah, thanks for the interview and great casting tonight, guys.
Oh, thank you for the play. You can't have great casting without great play.
Thanks.
Either way, guys, that was Kaori from NoWeaver. So we're going to be kicking it over now to our end of stream. And I apologize to those of you that wanted to see even more maps, as we obviously went to 5. But unfortunately, 5 is where we're going to have to leave you guys off today. So with that being said, I have been Maddie casting alongside Worst Overwatch and our wonderful producer, Rinswind, for sticking around all 5 maps this time around. But either way, we couldn't have done this without you guys, the community. So thank you so much for coming out to support, and we'll see you guys soon.
Good night.